Let's see. Um, so basically, I normally don't run 5e too often, but you know, I'm familiar enough with the rules that I figured this would be an easy system to go with for my setup. I was going to do it with Shadow the Demon Lord, if anybody's familiar with that, but it's hard to find players, so I'm going to do 5e. I kind of subscribe to the whole rule of cool, so if you guys want to do something, say what it is, and we'll totally go with it. I do everything pretty much improv and on the fly, so whatever you come up with, I can work with. So, you know, we won't be super real depth into the rules. I'm not going to waste time looking something up if I'm not sure. You'll just kind of roll with it. If you see something I mess up with, just let me know. Let's see. So we're going to be using a couple different things here. The first is corruption. Corruption is going to be kind of as this whole hellacious world kind of seeps into and you become more and more a part of it and demonic and, you know, kind of fit in with the world that you're in. Once you reach, you guys can make actually a note on your sheets that you start with 0 corruption. Once you hit 10 corruption, then a lot of bad things start to happen.
Good.
Actually, 10 corruption is when you're basically become a demon and you become an NPC. But as you get more and more corruption, bad things happen. You can trade into corruption whenever you feel like it. And it's kind of like giving yourself a piece of yourself to this world. It'll cause more side effects, but it won't actually corrupt you into an NPC. So you want to stay away from that 10 mark, otherwise that's basically the end. We will be playing with Insanity. Insanity will incur a bunch of different things depending on the table that I grow up, but you want to stay away from your wisdom score. Once your Insanity reaches your wisdom score, then your character is going to go insane and something really bad will happen. You'll lose some Insanity from there again, but your character is going to be permanently maddened in some sort of way. Let's see. Death. There is no character death. Once you reach 0 hit points or less, you'll revert back to 1, but there will be something that happens in between. Again, you're in hell. They want to keep you there to torment you for as long as absolutely possible, so if you die, it's not going to be good, but you'll come back in some way, shape, or form. Corruption and Insanity, like I said, they're both at 0, so mark those down on your sheet. Inspiration, give everybody 1 inspiration to start with. We are going to use inspiration for this game. You can trade it into, you know, make your roll a success or get another roll, get an advantage. And critical fumbles. If you roll a 1, then I'm going to end up having you roll a 1 die 100 as something really chaotic and evil kind of befalls you. These are all different things from madness to mutations to demonic entities to summoning to lots of different goodies. So I like 1s. Roll as many 1s as you can possibly roll.
Gotcha.
Good start.
I know I'm going to be awesome at this.
Suck hard for fun. Deal.
That's right. I think that's about it as far as the opening stuff goes. For the Corruption Insanity, you know, just keep track of it. Everything's going to kind of be a surprise when you hit different numbers. Whenever you do get these, though, I'll ask you what your score is so I can reference it and see if I need to do anything on my end. So that's basically that. Just for the warning, this is going to be very adult-oriented. You know, feel free to swear and describe stuff however you want. I don't mind at all. There's going to be some pretty graphic scenes and some horror. It's typical hellacious horror. All right. I'm going to read basically an opening paragraph, and then I'll go through right across the bottom of my screen. I'll let you guys kind of wake up, introduce your character, and then we'll start basically getting things rolling. So, any questions before we begin?
In terms of what we remember, anything, are you
Yep.
going to go through that, or is that something we can just kind of clarify?
You can, for your nightmare and stuff that you guys wrote up, you can describe that however you want. That's like the nightmare or the vision you got just before awaking. So anything that you have in there, you'll remember. You can remember glimpses, and I'm going to be giving you a bunch of flashbacks and glimpses for you to work with as well. But you just can't remember the details of stuff. So you remember, yeah, I had a family, but you don't remember anything what they look like or their names or anything like that. You might remember that you were a sailor, but where or what you did on the ship or why you were a sailor you wouldn't remember. So you can get the general of it, you just have no specifics.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I got a bunch of different visions and nightmares and stuff that you'll come up with, and I'll have you guys build some in between sessions. And at the very end, you're basically going to take all these visions that you have for the last session, and you can start piecing them together and kind of creating this background of your character and why they were trying to return back to the mortal realm. So it's basically building our character backwards. Anything else? All right. I normally don't read big opening things, but I have a little bit here I want to go over. So, Brimstone, Sulfur, shit and death. These are the smells that tickle your nostrils as you begin to awake. Iron bars, hanging flesh, buzzing flies, darkness. These are the sights that you're greeted with as you pry open your burning eyes. Infected wounds, black and charred skin, a pounding migraine, hunger and thirst. Those are the sensations you're gifted with as your body comes back to life. A day passes, and a second, a third and fourth, or has it only been a few hours? As you sit within your confined cage, barely large enough to stand in, your eyes become accustomed to the darkness. You're not alone. No, there are others like yourself, above you, beside you, below you, all in their own cages. As your eyes meet one another, you can see that they too are lost, tormented and confused. They have the same questions that you do. Why are you here? Where is here? And who are you? Something overhead glows brightly, cascading light down across the gruesome walls, decorated with mutilated torsos, impaled skulls, and goat-headed gargoyles vomiting up streams of black water. You follow this tendril of light as it crawls down along the foundation below to reveal a mass of writhing bodies, twisting and turning, burning, melting, drowning, crying. None of them ever die. As you stand within these human-sized, rusted bird cages, they're covered in sharp edges, bladed wires, and barbed needles. The cage is held aloft by a heavy chain. It's nearly twice the thickness of your leg, and it squeals and creaks with every movement you make. As you look around, you notice that there are others held aloft in the same massive tower. It looks to be maybe 25, 30 feet in diameter. It extends above you as far as you can see. More cages, some are close, others are just mere dots in the far distance above that can be seen. You can see a tiny little figure fluttering around, followed by another. And as they pass overhead, you can see that they look like tiny little cherubs, red-skinned, and they hold little forks that are gleaming with bright red steel. They drop down to the massive orgy of bodies and limbs below. They look to be maybe several hundred yards at best. Spiraling along the outside of this tower is an uneven stairway of bone and meat. Here and there a doorway or archway can be seen. The small swarm flies by your cage, giggling and laughing like a child, its bat-like wings opening up to slow it down before it lands atop a cage several hundred feet below you. The tiny creature is the size of a human infant. Looks like one, too, albeit with red, festering skin surrounding its fat, bloated body. Two tiny horns sprout from its eyebrows. Its three-forked tail dangles between bare ass cheeks scarred with demonic branding, and it laughs hysterically as it jabs its red-hot fork into the eye of a woman below you, who lets out a paralyzing scream. The demonic little cherub leaps off the cage, seared eyeball on its weapon as it glides further down the tower and through a doorway. The woman's screams continue over and over and over, almost inhuman-like. The first person to awake, Fred, why don't you introduce your character? Nope, you're muted.
Sorry. There we go. So a bald human, nearly 6 feet tall, or he would have been bald, but he's been there for an undetermined amount of time and clearly hasn't maintained hygiene. He's about 200 pounds, not weak nor strong, more lanky. His body's been trained and toned, but to no particular focus. He awakes with reaching his hand out drastically towards the ceiling, and then closes his eyes and strangely quickly regains his composure from what was clearly a really dastardly dream, something horrendous to him emotionally. To what extent do you want me to? Going first, I feel I'm at a loss. What's, you want me to go into the nightmare?
Yeah, if each of you, when you introduce your character, kind of describe what your character has saw. I like to have all that open just so everybody can enjoy everybody's character build up.
Alrighty. So, moments before he recalled flashes of a scene. He's standing atop what he presumes to be a tower, as he can see between these carved. There may be quartz. There may be some other, or excuse me, maybe marble, some other smooth white stone. He sees the ocean, stories and stories below. So he suspects he was in a tower. The nature of the carving seems symbolic, but he can't make out what they are or why in the dream. As he stands there, he's unable to move, and he feels within him that there's some great significance to this location. In the middle of this circular room, there's a pedestal. He can't make it out. It's just a bright light. He feels that there was a sense of hope there, but it's failing, and as the earth shakes and cracks begin to form in the tower, the floor gives out from under him. Just as he's screaming, about to realize that even though he feels like in some circumstances he may have survived this definitely is not ideal by any means. And in fact, he starts to make peace with his mortality. He sees what he thinks to be a hand reach out towards him. He knows that the hand has some importance, but isn't sure why. He just screams out, grasping, but alas can't move. At which point his eyes open and he brings himself to the realm that he's actually in, not this realm of dreams, reaching out towards the top of what he, as he regains his senses, realizes is a cage.
Nice. As you kind of look around and get your bearings, you look off to your left and you can see another person, waking up and pulling themselves up. Chris, why don't you introduce your character?
All right, sounds good. I wrote a short novel on accident while writing this nightmare, so I'm going to try to paraphrase it a bit. And the first thing we kind of see is this crystal blue sky. You smell fresh mountain air as you look down this mountainside into a flowered valley. There's this man with a haircut pretty much appropriate to a modern day hipster. He has this sides of his head shaved and this long kind of flowing almost mohawk going down the backside. He has this long dark braided beard. He's leaning against a quaint stone house. He's peeling a potato, and you can see that his hands are definitely calloused, a hand of a workman, but he doesn't remember what these hands are calloused for. He looks up and he sees a small girl and a woman playing in the valley. He recognizes them. He even loves them. They're probably the most important people to him, but his faces he can't quite see. As he steps forward to see who these two girls are that he clearly should know, they run over a hillside. He gets a kind of ominous feeling that something isn't quite right and chases after them. And as he's running through this flowery meadow, he comes atop the hill and looks for these two women, and now is surrounded in a sea of red. Waist high, he is basically covered in blood. And as he frantically looks around for these girls, he starts sifting through this now lake of blood that he finds himself in, this once snowy mountain covered in lava streams and dark, ominous sky clouds thunder above his head. He calls out their names, but he doesn't even recognize what he's saying. He looks down and sees that he's basically sifting through limbs and body parts and eyeballs. A head calls up to him as he's walking by and basically calls this man a killer. He knows the severed head is right, but he doesn't know why. Suddenly he's starting to feel these frantic illusions of murder by his hand. He looks down and his hands are covered in blood. He looks around these body parts and knows that they are somehow his doing, but he doesn't understand why. Soon after, we're split to like these visions of torture. these demons, as he's kind of chained to the wall, are continuously ripping out his insides, tearing his guts to the floor and smearing him in his face. They've done this for what seems like an eternity, but maybe it's a couple days. They even came up with a nickname for him. They call him Guts. And he wakes up and sees.
So, yeah, when you wake up and you look around, you can see the one man standing to the side who's staring back at you, and then directly in front of you is another man who's pulling himself up in this cage. Jeff, you are up.
So imagine like an opium den, like in the bottom floor, like where the really bad people are. And you know, there's like the smoke and the incense and the moist, damp air covering up like the people who are soiling themselves. And just off in the corner, leaned back in a half, you know, dope-addled mind, just looking off in the corner, there's like a prostitute on one side, and all the other people are just passed out. There's drugs and drinks everywhere. And he's just sort of staring off into space. And then, like, this shape starts to take form. Like this dark, shadowy shape kind of forms in the wall, and it seems like no one else can see it. It's just sort of kind of approaching and growing larger, and it starts to form into sort of a humanoid shape, but not really any kind of a really humanoid thing. And then like it starts to approach closer and closer and closer, and like this claw comes out and just starts reaching slowly towards him, and no one else notices any of this, and he's just sitting there, not even really able to understand what's happening. And then the claw just gets closer and closer and closer to his face, and the last thing he hears is this gravelly just voice saying the name Berenice. And then I wake up and I stand up in this cage and look around, and I'm fucking freaked out, obviously.
You can see these other two forms across the way, look staring back at you. You can hear the groaning of something behind you. You turn around, you see this last person getting up in their cage. In total, there's 4 cages. The last one to awake checks. Why don't you go?
The last figure you see unfurl himself from sleep is a tall, gaunt, blonde-haired and blonde-bearded man. You can see as he stands up, his expression just tells you he's still thinking of something different. The imagery of being restricted, being stuck, as he's level with a beach, unable to move his head properly. He looks towards the horizon, seeing a ship miles in the distance. And as he kind of tries to figure out what this ship is, the surf rolls in and over his head, dropping in this salty brown water, making him vomit as the surf retreats. Over and over this happens. Somehow, during this memory, this woman's screams pierces him, and he's brought back to the here and now, if you can indeed call it that. Back to the smell of sulfur and shit, and the taste of brine.
Nice. Alright. As the 4 of you kind of gather around and look to one another, you can see that, you know, the closest cages besides the 4 of you are several hundred feet below you, where this woman's scream just continues over and over again. Up above, when you stare up, you know, the next closest cages above you are a couple hundred feet as well, and you can see these tiny little demonic cherubs flittering around from cage to cage. In some cases, they poke and prod the person. You can see one of them opens up the cage long enough to pull one of these people out, you know, holding the person aloft in the air a few times with a flutter before dropping them, and they fly past your cage, screaming into this orgy of bodies below. As one kind of flutters down and past, it lands atop of Guts' cage. You can see it stand above you, its little cherub, infant-like face laughing. It reaches down long enough to pull the pin from your door frame on this cage, letting it open up into this slow, sort of creaky sound. And then it flutters off. Every now and then, as it starts to fly away, it stares back, and you can see a small little evil glint in its eyes as it passes through a doorway in the distance. These 4 cages, you're about 10 feet away from the wall, each of you spaced out evenly. On the wall itself is a stairwell that circles around, spirals down around and around from top to bottom. Looks like it's made out of meat and bone. What would you guys like to do?
So you said we're about 10 feet from the wall?
Mm-hmm.
I assume I can somehow try to swing this cage?
Yep.
There's nothing in my cage. I got nothing, right?
Nope, you're just, all you guys have is these scraps of loins and whatever you might have been wearing when you died, but nothing, no actual gear or armor, nothing like that.
How, and where are our cages? So we're 10 feet from the wall and 10 feet from each other.
Roughly, yeah.
Okay.
So what was the deal with the cage's pin? Was that only Guts's cage got opened?
Yep.
Okay. And what's the lock situation on the other cages?
When you see this one, pull the pin from his and you look at yours, you can see from what it looks like yours is just a simple little, like a draw pin that you would pull out and the cage should open.
Well, that I shall do.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Well, why don't you both give me a Constitution save?
My goodness, this caused a save. What a twist of events. Let's see here. D20. I got a 16.
Constitution. Where'd I go? Whatever I got plus a 3. So I got a 22, so I'm good.
Beautiful.
Oh, well.
As you kind of touch these pins, you're able to pull them out, and you can see the door open up, but you just have a overwhelming sense of nausea kind of pass by you for a few moments, and then it seems to disperse.
Guts is just watching me, so he's kind of sitting in his cage, and as that little demon creature has flown away, he actually flipped it off as he evilly laughs at him. Knowing that probably something's going on, he's going to see the other two's what happens to them before he makes any decisions.
Oh, great, thanks.
Well, I'm going to start swaying when I get over to that stairway.
All right. As you guys watch this man in the cage swing this cord back and forth, it just lets out this constant loud screeching and creaking as the chain rubs against one another and the kinks kind of lock up a little bit. Takes a few moments, but eventually he has this whole cage swinging, so it's coming very close to where Guts' cage is, and then kind of swings back away to where these meaty stairs are. Give it a good jump if you want to roll me an athletics score. You could probably jump from your cage on over to these
Oh, hell yeah.
stairwells. Yeah, just a DC of 10.
Ooh, athletics? No, that's a 7.
Rip.
So as he, swings this thing back and forth, you can see, he stands at the edge of his little cage and gets ready to leap. As he reaches out and, leaps from his cage onto these meaty stairwells, he lands on them pretty balanced and he seems quite confident, but almost instantly you can see these hands reach up and grab a hold of him, wrapping around his ankles. A couple more sprout from the stairs beside him, grabbing into his chest and arms, pulling him forward into the staircase. It only takes a moment, and you see one begin to come up around his face and start encapsulating his head, kind of pulls him down, binding him to the stairwell.
That went well.
Who would have thought? There's a trap.
Somebody
Yeah,
had to go.
shocking. Let me see here real quick.
Guts kind of says to himself that I guess I can't stay here forever, and he gently opens the cage and looking up at the kind of chain above me, could I maybe do an acrobatics and start climbing it and maybe give myself a little better position to make the jump that much easier?
Certainly. Go for it.
keeping in mind that I seen those hands, so I'm going to try to position myself maybe a little further away from
Okay.
what was going on. But, you know, an 8 happens.
8 total.
Yep.
All right.
Rolled a 3.
So as you guys watch the one man kind of get encapsulated by these stairs that seem to come alive around him, you can see this other person where this little demonic imp let out climb out on top of his cage. He scales up a few feet before kind of looking around, trying to judge where things are going and how he might be able to get over to these stairwells. The cage itself seems to almost deteriorate in front of you, just turn into rust and just kind of flakes away. And it slowly kind of goes up this chain to where you're left with this man just hanging by a link that's slowly rusting away. Just within a few moments, that'll be gone too, as he'll fall to his glory into this massive orgy below him.
Fuck. Is what he says.
Come on, guys, you gotta save me. I'd do it for you. I promise.
We're not going to make it out of here unless we by ourselves. I would appreciate a hand as I'm holding on to the deteriorating link.
Can I fight back, or am I just done?
Nope, you'll be able to fight back. I'm just giving the others a chance to.
Yeah, I'll pace about the cage like a trap dog for a while, but hearing the creaking of this swinging cage before this man jumps out, I'll stand at the front of the bars and watch as this unfurls in front of me. Taken aback by these hands suddenly grasping him, nonetheless, I'm going to attempt to at least open the lock on mine.
When you reach out and pluck this little pin from your doorway, and it just falls right out. It seems to like deteriorate in your hand as well. And you see the whole front of the cage, just the whole door pulls right off and kind of falls into this massive thing of bodies below you, disappearing, leaving your cage door wide open.
So we've got one on the step and one kind of hanging.
Dangling, yep.
Yeah,
Both
I'm gonna,
about 10 feet from you.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab on to any stitch of clothing they may have, any handhold I can get on this person.
Okay.
At least in an attempt to hold on.
Jeff, why don't you give me a save, deck save.
That's an 11.
All right, so as you kind of try to reach up and get ahead of this deteriorating chain below you, can feel it just finally just gives away. As you start to fall, you feel this grasp on your clothing, what little bit of rags you have left to catch you, as you're dangling, just face down over top of this huge pit. Somebody has a hold of you from above. Checks, you're able to grab a hold of this guy just before he falls. Being able to get a hold of him, you get it. You're braced up against your cage. You can probably hold him for a decent amount, but you're gonna want to, get him into the cage or something before your strength runs out.
Come on, man, pull me up.
Yeah, if possible, certainly will pull him up.
Yeah. And what else would you guys like to do?
Seeing Frederick's character not kind of interacting in the cage, and I don't have much longer hanging onto this chain, I'm going to call out Rise and Shine, Sunshine, and I'm going to try to swing myself and jump onto his chain cage and hopefully not fall to my death, if that's possible.
My character is just kind of watching all of this craziness go down. Like, he's super confused as to why these guys who just woke up haven't really assessed the situation. They're like, that stairwell made of meat and bone seems like a safe thing to jump onto. I mean, like, I was taken aback enough. Like, a simple pin in the door, like, almost made me, pass out. And I'm aware, like, I'm like, my body's clearly, I'm in pretty good shape. That shouldn't have happened. That shouldn't have winded me in any sense. Yeah. So I'm still And so forget the demons happening. Now some crazy guys swinging his giant cages at me as well. So I'm gonna try to scurry on top of my cage, give myself a little more bearing.
All right, you can climb it without a problem. I mean, there's plenty of footholds and handholds, but as you kind of climb up the outside of your cage, and the further up you go, you can feel this thing, and when you look below you, it's just completely turned into rust and, you know, decay below you, just crumbling apart. For every foot you take up, it just crumbles beneath you. Until you're left, you know, just kind of hanging onto the chain as well.
Mm-hmm. Is the chain decaying, or is that...
The further up you go, the more it decays behind you, yeah. But as long as you stay where you're at, it seems to, you know, slow down or stop.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I was curious what the chain would do. Well, I got a chain, so I'm gonna wait till his is underneath me and then jump on top of his.
Give me a
Okay.
athletics or acrobatics, whichever one you might have that's better.
Yeah, acrobatics for sure. Let me double check here with my... Realize the thing I sent you was different. Where'd I put this? Acrobatics. There it is. Okay. I got a 17.
Beautiful. Yeah, you're able to, you know, leap from yours right over onto his. As soon as you let go of yours, it just slowly, you know, kind of solidifies, and what little parts were starting to rust away seem like they're fresh again, but the cage or nothing ever appears. Down below, you can see the man below you still hanging on and dangling just slightly, but, you know, his chain seems to be holding on pretty well.
Okay. I'm like, I'm awake.
Look up to him and say, well, I'm glad you checked out to make sure that worked. As my chain's not now deteriorating under him, and I'm not falling to my death.
Up above, you can hear like this really soft little laughter, and as you guys glance up, you can see three of these tiny little cherub things kind of like buzzing down. They spiral slowly down through this tower that you're in your direction.
Well, we should probably get off this chain, my friend.
Do these cherubs have the little spears, all of them?
Yes.
Impish things.
Yep.
So I wanna taunt him. I'm gonna yell at him a little bit. It's gonna go something along the lines of, "Oh, I thought that was pretty funny. Bet you can't hit me with one of those little forks you have."
You can see them, you know, spiral down slowly towards you. Two of them kind of branch off, landing on the little stairway beside you. One kind of dives back in. You can see this big toothy grin as it smiles down. It's laughter, just like a little kid's laughter. It's almost soothing and hilarious to you yourself if it wasn't coming from this demonic little creature as it flies in. What's your AC?
My AC, I think, is 16, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 16.
I started off great with a natural 20. So you can see this thing, you know, fly in. He kind of buzzes around you, a few poking and prodding at you with his little spear. Just take 1 point of damage.
All right.
But, you know, he kind of sears it in. You can feel wherever he pokes you with this little trident spear he has, it just burns like a constant, incessant burn. And you can see these tiny little demonic runes appearing across your skin. It's almost like they burn right into your flesh and then disappear, but you can feel them almost like they're living and they're writhing beneath your skin. But it's, you know, right in front of you as it's doing this, so if you want to do something to it.
Oh yeah, do I get as he comes into my range, do I get an attack opportunity on him?
Certainly.
Let's see, what are the grapple rules in this game? Or in 5e, I feel like they're on point.
I believe it's, yes, comparable strength.
Well, it's a...
The victim
Do I have
can
to
make
do
a
an
dex
attack? Do I have to do an attack roll first? Is that my understanding?
Just a contest, strength contest versus a victim's strength or acrobatics.
Alrighty.
Sounds
So
good.
I think my acrobatics is better than my strength for sure, so if I can use that. And that's a 16.
I have shit either way, so... it's only going to be a 7. So, okay, yeah. You know, as this
So-
thing's kind of poking a prod, you're able to grab a hold of it or grapple it, whatever you'd like to do.
All right, yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna take full control of it. So it's small enough I can grab it in one hand and pry this fork out of its hands, right?
Yep.
Alrighty, I'm gonna do that to start at least.
All right.
What is everyone else doing?
I believe I'm still dangling.
Yep, you're dangling just below, so up above you can see this man grappling with one of these little flying impish things. Chex and Jeff, what are you guys doing?
Go ahead.
Oh, I have the hand out, holding on to you, and I'm attempting with all my strength just to kind of pull you up enough that you can leverage the rest of the way.
Yes, and I will aid in that endeavor.
You don't need the roll. You know, give it a few moments, and you guys are able to kind of grapple your footholds and pull yourself up into this other man's cage. You know, so the two of you are in there. There's not much room, so you're ass cheek to ass cheek as you stand inside this little cage.
Oh, thanks, man. That what the fuck's going on around here?
If I knew that.
So we're inside the cage. That guy's on top of the cage, grappling with the little apple doll, whatever it is. And there's still two more of those guys flying around up there, correct?
Yeah, they kind of circle around and hop along on the stairwell that runs along the side of this building. They don't seem to be getting involved. They're more interested in laughing at their compatriot as he's manhandled, basically.
Damn. I'll ask you, man. What the fuck are we gonna do, man? What do you think? You thinking? I'm thinking just jump back on the stairwell.
Is the grappling, is that's not in the above our cage?
Nope, it's just across the way above the where Guts' cage was.
I'm tempted to go for the stairwell myself, to be honest.
Let's do it, man.
Great. You guys want to start swinging that cage and make a check to jump over there? All right. Athletics, acrobatics, either one, your choice.
Whoa! What the fuck?
That didn't sound good.
Oh, hang on. Hang on. I gotta turn off my no script. It won't let me roll dice.
Oh, okay.
That's new. That's the first time.
21 for myself.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to, get this whole cage swinging and, jump over. When you land on these fleshy, meaty stairwells, you can feel them kind of squish underneath you. They crunch a little bit, and they make a very sickening sort of sound, but otherwise they seem sturdy enough as you stand on them.
I rolled in Hero Lab. I got an 18 total.
Okay. Yep, same for you. Once you get the cage, you see, this other man jump across and land, and as it passes back over, you able to jump over and land on these stairwells as well. Both of you have your back up to a doorway. Looks like a heavy wooden door of some sort. From the corner of your eyes, anyway, as you watch these other two dangling on the chain.
And then as the whole grapple contest is going up above me, I imagine that my chain is starting to shake like shit because he's fucking around with the demon up there. So I'm wanting to get off this ride real quick. Failing my first acrobatics check, I'm going to hopefully take the chain kind of swinging back and forth through the grappling above me and then just pick the opportune time to jump onto the ledge, seeing those two successfully land.
Okay.
And, a 10.
Nope, that's good. So yeah, you're able to, once this thing gets moving a little bit, you take that moment, you land right beside the other two men as their backs are up against this doorway. You can see the stairway, spiraling up around you. When you do land, though, you seem to catch the attention of the two other little imps that are flying around. They come down and they hover. They stay at your reaching distance, staying about 15 feet above you. And you can see that they stare at you with these little infant sort of faces. They smile with their big toothy grins, but they seem to just be watching you. They don't take any sort of offense or anything. They just laugh and watch it.
I'm gonna call out to them and say, "You think I'm funny, you little fucks? Why don't you come here and try me out?" And then I'll bonus action a dodge with my key point.
You can see they flitter about a little bit. His one kind of takes off up, back up the stairwell. The other one kind of flies in at you. So he has what disadvantage? And there's no way he's going to hit anyway. So, he kind of flies in with this little branding trident iron he has. As you dodge out of the way, he kind of buries it into this wooden door frame behind you. You can see it curses out in this strange tongue. I'm not quite sure what it's saying as it kind of flitters away. If you guys want to make an attack on this thing, you can as it tries to flutter away.
Do. I will do that if I can.
Yep.
Up to you. All right. 16 to hit for a total of 5 damage if I do.
Yep, that's a hit. You're a monk, right? Yeah. So as you kind of, hit this thing, you can feel one of its wings just kind of like collapse under your grip as you get a hold of this thing. It lets out this loud screech before you're able to kind of, slam it into the stairwell below you, and it just lays there motionless. And let's see, Fred, what are you up to?
Well, so I've got this apple baby. Is that what the canon decided we're calling these? And I'm just gonna punch it in the face. Seeing everyone has left, I'm just gonna smash it in the face.
All right.
Twice, because I get a bonus action. A free hit. So that's a. Do I get advantage with the grapple?
Yeah.
Okay. So first one is a 12. Second one is an 11.
12 doesn't cut it, but you still have your bonus.
How's that?
The 12
No,
doesn't
the bonus,
hit.
yeah, 12 and 11. Sorry, that was for both.
Oh, okay. Well, you have advantage, so the 12 would be the higher roll.
No, so I rolled 6, 9, and then 8, 5.
Oh. Okay, I see. No, but this thing just kind of constantly flutters in your grip. You're never able to really get a hold of it. You do have its little burning trident spear thingy in one hand. It's more like the size of an arrow for you. But eventually it just keeps fluttering and fluttering. It might try to get away. Which it does not anyway. You got to roll an opposing strength check or acrobatics.
7.
Okay, yeah. You can see this little thing, just start flapping its wings like crazy, trying to pull away. It sinks its teeth into your palm of your hand, loosening your grip just enough so it can flutter away. It does flutter up out of your reach, but you still have its little trident in your hand. Across the way, you can see these other 3 men standing on the stairwell. One of them, just puts his foot down on top of this last little apple baby and crushes it beneath his heel.
Is there a way to appraise what I've taken from it?
As far as like value?
Effect value.
Yeah.
Perhaps what those runes were.
Yeah, it looks like just a simple little trident. It does seem to like brand you with the runes when it was stabbing at you and stuff, but it looked like it doesn't so much look that it was magical itself, but this little cherub baby thing was doing something with it.
Mm-hmm.
So the 3 of you on the stairwell, as you kind of watch this other guy, pull this little arrow trident type thing away and the other one fly off, you can kind of smell like a sulfurous burning sort of smell. When you turn around and finally notice this door that's behind you, you can see it's a heavy wooden door, but it's really heavily burned. Bits and pieces of it kind of flake off into embers, and it's still quite warm to the touch. The stairwell that you're on spirals up and up, just as far as you can see, all the way up to this bright light that's far above you. But all along this entire wall is just doorway upon doorway, every strange interval.
Just look to the men and say, "Greetings, gentlemen. Good evening or morning, whatever the fuck it is. Anyone know where we are?"
Anybody?
Anyone know what we're gonna do about this guy on the chains, giving a little acrobatics show? Are we gonna help him, or we're just gonna watch?
As you say that,
I
I'm
say
gonna,
4 is better than 3, I suppose.
as you say, I'm gonna plunge my hand into this meaty stairwell, searching for any just shard of bone I can find.
Oh, there's plenty of shards of bone. So yeah, you come up
Oh
with a nice
yeah.
broken femur bone or something that has a nice sharp point end.
I'm actually gonna take it and I'm gonna throw it at that. I guess we're calling them apple babies now.
That's the technical term.
Yeah.
Apple
I
babies.
rolled a 2 in Arcana, so I'm certain.
The evil cousin of the Cabbage Patch Kids.
Go ahead and make an attack roll against that one, chicks.
Okay, dokie, smoky. That's terrible. I'm not even sure what my bonuses are, but I don't think it's gonna do hee haw. 9.
No, you can see this thing on this bone kind of spin off into the distance. This little tiny apple baby just kind of zooms right out of the way as it flitters off into the distance.
I'm never one to be showing up. I'll try that. We'll do that
I'm gonna
same
do
thing.
it.
I'm going to do it with flair, though.
Oh, yeah. It's important.
It is very important. That is... that's going to be a 17.
That'll be a hit. Go ahead and do damage. 1d4.
1d4. Bump, 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 bump. Ooh, it's a big 4 plus. Ooh, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Alright, you can see this bone just kind of clock this thing across its little fat little ass cheeks. It kind of spirals out of control for a moment and smacks into the side of the wall. It's probably a good 15-20 feet above you. And then you can see it, once it hits this wall, it just kind of falls down on the stairwell, flopping around for a few moments.
I make sure to make eye contact with the guy who missed. That's how you do it.
I'm gonna carry myself up the spiral staircase a bit, and then get into kind of an equal area where the man on the chains is kind of swinging. I'll hold out my hand and say, "Are you just gonna hang out there all day, or shall we go check out this humble hotel that we seem to find ourselves at?" And I'll just hold out my hand as like an aid to make sure he can make the jump.
How far is the apple baby that got plastered into a wall from me?
You're up on the thing, so it'd probably be just, right over by where Guts is at the moment. It's probably right next to him.
All right, so that's not within a reasonable jump. I was hoping to catch that.
Oh, yeah, no, so...
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, so I'm gonna jump to the guy with the outstretched arm.
All right.
And I think I got a 14 on acrobatics.
That's plenty.
Yeah.
Yep. So, he catches your hand and pulls you in. So, across the way as you're staring down, you can see the other two men down below, kind of diagonal from where you're at as you're equal, just across the way on either side of this tower that you're in. As you kind of look around, you can see that there's a couple more doorways up above you, some below, the one that's right behind the two men that you can see across the way. The little impy thing that's down by your feet, the little apple baby, you can see he has his trident in hand as well still, too, so.
Ooh, I'll take that. All right, is he next to him?
Yep. Well, Fred and Guts are.
What class is Guts, by the way?
I'm a monk.
Monk? Okay. The other monk, got it.
It's that little thing, so it's like a tiny little fork, right?
Yep. About the size of an arrow.
Yeah, I'll pick that up.
Seems useful.
Could be useful in many ways. Yeah, I want to check out the door. Is it, like, hot?
It's warm to the touch, like it recently has been burned or something. It still has a few lingering embers on it, and it's pretty warm. It does burn your fingers a bit when you touch it, but it's not like on fire or nothing.
Are we talking a doorknob or like a latch?
There was a latch at one time, but you can see it's down on the floor now where it's just been burned away. Looks like you could give this thing a flick with your finger and it'd probably just kind of collapse.
Oh.
Flick it with your finger.
You first.
Done. I'm gonna flick it with my finger. Or can I grab like a femur and smack it with a femur?
Yeah, certainly.
Do you want an attack roll, or is this just gonna trigger?
No.
Trigger.
Let's see. Number 4.
What horrendous thing happens to me?
So as the door kind of crumbles down to your feet, just into a pile of ash and burning stone, or burning ember, you can look into this room. It's a nice big opening, probably a good 20 by 20 stone room. As you walk in and kind of get a sense of your surroundings and everything, you can see that it looks to be this tiny little head on the floor, and it just kind of stares back at you, laughing and cackling. You can see little bits of torsos that have been spread around the room. You can see like a leg over in one corner, an arm, a bit of a finger in another area. The floor itself is all just solid stone. The whole room is. There's no other closings or openings or windows or anything in this room. But when you look up at the ceiling, you can see that it's covered in tiny, hundreds and hundreds of tiny little needles, and they look like they're connected to each one of these needles connected to like a large bulbous syringe of some sort. The whole ceiling shakes for just a moment and drops about 6 inches as this little demonic skull just kind of laughs at you.
Well, I'd certainly like a, I know it'd be better, probably a perception check here, see if I can, or maybe insight would be better. See if I can get some ideas on what's going on with this whole crazy scene.
What are you looking for exactly? Just
Well, I'm curious. I mean, as to the head predominantly.
okay. Yeah, insight would be best.
Rolling real good here. Let's see. What's my mod for wisdom? I think that's an 11. Actually, I would have done better with my passive. Or do I get I get a +2? Wait, so sorry, it's a 13.
Yeah. You have to take a step or two into here as you kind of look at this little head. It looks like it's was a human at one point in time. A lot of it's kind of been stripped away of the flesh. It still has little patches of hair left on it. It has one eyeball that stares back at you as it kind of just cackles over and over. As you do take a step towards it or whatever, though, you can see the ceiling drop just a little bit and the whole floor rumbles. The 3 men, as you guys were watching this man kind of step in and look at this head and kind of get an adjustment of what he's looking at, you feel the floor shake a little bit, and you can see this heavy stone, looks like a stone block or stone doorway, just kind of drop down in front of him, separating the 3 of you from where he's standing just inside this doorway. There's a tiny hole just about the size of an arm for you to fit through that you can see inside, and the whole ceiling shakes a few times and then just slowly starts to lower down. The little skull that's on the floor kind of wiggles about and kind of shakes itself in your direction. It says, give me an eye for an escape. An eye for an escape.
An eye. Let's see.
It kind of juts its head a little bit, and you can see this rusty dagger sitting on the floor beside it.
Okay.
Says, you have 2 eyes, you only need 1, and I'll tell you how you can escape. Otherwise, you'll be left here forever.
Alrighty.
As the
head is literally asking me for that, okay.
Yep. And as the ceiling shakes a little bit, you can see that it lowers down a little bit more and more until it's only just a few feet above your head. Inside all of these little needle syringe-type things that are hanging from the ceiling, you can see what looks to be almost like translucent ghosts or spirits or something swimming around inside of them.
I don't suppose an Arcana check or anything of that nature would give me some idea of what I'm up against.
Yeah, you can roll an Arcana if you want.
2. I don't think that's even true. I think it's a 1 because of my intelligence.
Yeah, you have no idea what this thing is.
No idea.
So the fact that you have a one-eyed skull laughing at you and asking for an eye.
Looking through the kind of hole that we see, can I do a perception or maybe even an insight, whatever you think, to kind of discern if there's any mechanism to stop this, or does it strictly seem to be just moving on its own accord?
What's your passive perception?
Passive perception is 13.
So yeah, when you look in, you don't seem to see anything. There's no mechanisms. The doorway itself looks just like a heavy stone that dropped down. You might take some good manpower and stuff. You might be able to move this doorway or open it up enough for somebody to climb through or something, but it'd probably take all 3 of you.
Kicking it as hard as I can then, and like we have to help him, I'll call out to the other guys.
Did we hear this thing's request?
Yeah, you can hear it.
I'm gonna go for its eyes.
Exactly what I was going to suggest.
Why don't you go ahead and roll initiative?
That I can do.
Actually, why don't I have everybody roll initiative?
I crit the shit out of that.
Oh, perfect.
So that makes my initiative 23.
Nice.
Yeah, let me throw that right in.
Chris got 22.
All right.
17. And Jeff, what did you get?
I got a 5.
All right.
Still trying to think of how to knock those apple babies out of the sky. It's like,
5. And
swear, if a skull beats my initiative.
actually, he got a 4. So you can see this little head just kind of like rolling and pushing itself across the floor with its teeth and jaws that kind of cackles. It just keeps saying over, an eye for an escape, an eye for an escape. Fred, your character is up first.
How far away is the skull for me in feet?
Like 10 foot, if that.
Oh, well. I'd say his ass is mine, but I don't know how relevant that is. So I'm gonna try to grab one of his eyes. So I suppose I'd run to the. Well, I have the fork, so I don't even need the dagger. So I'm gonna run to the head and stab him right in the eye with this sucker.
All right. Go ahead and make an attack. You're going to have advantage on it because he's only ahead.
It's good I had advantage because I got a 3 and a 1. What's my attack here? I get a 6.
Total. All right. Yeah, you try to jab at this thing. He just kind of like wiggles about on the floor, always staying just a few inches out of your reach. You can feel everything shaking above you though, and when you look up, you can see the ceiling drops down another couple of feet. You're almost forced to crouch down or hunch over a little bit now before you become impaled by all these syringes.
I think I have a bonus attack which I'm gonna try to make use of here. So I get a 17 that time. So with my fork.
Yeah, you can plunge this, heated little fork right into its eyeballs. You kind of pull it away. You can feel the whole thing kind of pluck free from its skull. It lets out this hideous little scream, almost mixed with a laughter. It doesn't seem to notice any sort of pain or anything.
All right, I'm gonna be like, "Here's your eye."
Yeah, what are you gonna do with the eye? When you kind of show it to it, it just continues just constantly to say that, an eye for an escape, an eye for an escape.
Well, if it's not going to, so the only thing here is this room and then that hole, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I've used up about, yeah. So I'm going to try to get this through the hole because it seems to be the only extra thing I have here.
Plunging the eye through the hole, you mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, guys, I wanted an eye. See if you can figure out anything with this.
We don't want that
I'm
shit.
in trouble.
Yeah, you
It's
can
not
see
a fork.
this man kind of come over and jet this eyeball through this hole at your guys' direction. What are the other three of you guys want to do since you're all basically out?
I'm going to. You said that it looks like it's potentially the wall is. You could punch through it or something. I'm going to start hitting at it.
You could try to lift it up. It's just a heavy stone block. You maybe kind of shove it out of the way or lift it up or something. Move it.
Look to the strongest looking of my other two companions and ask someone to give me a hand. And I would call out to the guy in the room that he should probably figure out what to do with the eye. It's probably not out here, but I'll do a strength, whatever, if someone will help me.
Yeah, I'll give you a hand.
Just do a basic strength check, 1d20 plus your strength.
Okay. Super good for me. Give me a second here. Well, straight up, is that an advantage with the aid or just by itself?
Just straight up.
4.
4 total.
Oh, yeah.
Real good.
All right.
Not feeling too hot.
So you kind of push against this thing. You don't seem to be doing anything. Chex or Jeff? How about your characters?
Jeff is watching these guys try to save a perfect stranger. I want to take a good look around and look for any way out of here. I want to get a good idea of where I'm at and where I could get out of here. Other doorways, anything else.
Yep, as you kind of look around, you can see that the stairway spirals downward. Eventually just reaches this mass writhing body parts that are below you. There's only one other door down below you. Up above, though, you can see that it just spirals up and up. Within distance, you can see easily 4 or 5 doorways, but there's probably many more above you. Some of them look different. Some of them look like wooden. Some of them look steel. But there's no actual rooms or anything that you can see. At the very, very top of this tower is just a bright white light.
And the bottom is just bodies.
Yep.
No. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go try to help pull that door open then.
All right. Give me a strength check. 1d20 plus your strength modifier.
Let's see what we get here. Whoops. Oh, bam, there we go. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yep. My effort matched my enthusiasm.
Oops, wrong one. And Chex, how about your character? You can see these other 2 men, grunting and pushing against the stone, obviously not doing anything to move it, as, this man inside the room kind of juts out an eyeball at the end of his little fork.
Yeah, he kind of moves his shoulder aside, his eyeball flies past him, but seeing these 2 attempting to remove this obstruction, he's going to throw his weight into the mix as well.
Alright.
And he's going to roll a different dice from the last time, because that dice is dead to me. Oh, you got to be kidding me. An 11.
We've had like 2 successes.
Right?
So far.
I hit
And
an
one
apple
of them
bait.
was opening a door. Oh, good.
Yeah, that's right.
So as Chex, your character slams up against this stone and tries to push it. You can push it in, and it does skid across the floor a couple of inches, but it doesn't quite give away. You're going to have to really put a bit more muscle in this, but it does start to move a little bit. Inside this room, you can see this little skull kind of cackling. It lifts itself up. There's these sinewy little tendons kind of sprout from where its neck would be, and kind of rushes across the floor on these 2 little sinewy appendages that seem to sprout from its neck. Let's see, what's your armor class at the moment, Jeff? Or I'm sorry, Fred.
16.
Hold on. $16, $12. And that's a miss. So this thing kind of runs around in between your feet, and you can see it constantly trying to bite onto your ankles or your feet or something. Doesn't have any eyeballs at the moment, so can't see much. So it just keeps skittering around, lashing at your toes. The whole ceiling kind of drops a few, and then you can see it kind of comes down another foot. So you're almost down on your hands and knees to keep away from these syringes at this point. As this little demonic skull races around you. And
Is the hole about the size of the skull?
it's a little bit bigger than your forearm, so it's a little bit smaller than the head.
Hmm. Do I get a attack opportunity on this guy as he rushes me?
Yeah, if you want one.
Yeah, why not? I kind of
Basically
hate
just
him.
kind of running all around you at the moment.
I rolled a 3,
Alright.
so I think that's an 8. So not much use for that.
Yeah, as you kind of swat at this little thing and try to jab at it with the fork, or try to keep it away from you, you can feel as you kind of move your arm back, one of these syringes sink into your shoulder.
Oh, great.
You can feel almost like an intense pain, and you can feel almost like your essence or your very being starts to be sucked away. Take 4 damage, and I need a wisdom save.
Well, that I can do. Oops, let me see here. Okay, that brings me down. Wisdom save. Oh, I mean, I got a 17 plus 3 so I got a 20.
You're good.
I would hope so. Okay.
What it said specifically, eye for escape, you don't need both.
Right.
Cut that eye out.
Yeah, I'm see if I can't pull my own eye out. I'm not super psyched about this, but it seems to be the only. Yeah, I'm really into this, guys. I think I'm gonna give it a shot. No, I think I'm gonna have to try to get my own eye out.
You wouldn't need to roll anything if you want to cut your own eye out or pluck it out with your fork. You definitely can. You would take 1d6 damage and have one eye, but
Have one eye. Well, so I'm on my hands and knees at this point, right?
Yep.
And there's a sinewy skull running around me.
Yep.
Am I seeing much progress on this door?
They did move it a couple of inches, but I mean, at the pace they're going, it ain't going very fast.
So is there space under it, or is it? Which way is it sliding? Up?
Inward towards you.
Oh. Well.
If they were able to move it another foot or so, it would probably stop the ceiling from dropping all the way down. But they've only moved it a couple of inches at this point, as they're at pretty bad rolls. So.
How far apart are the needles?
There's just hundreds of these things, so they're just inches apart from each other.
I mean, yeah. So do they get one more round now that I've smacked around with this? I've gotten knocked down to my feet here. I think I'm essentially prone.
In a sense, yeah. I'm not using the prone rules yet, but yeah, you're down on your hands and knees at this point. If they could go again, if they can get it in there in time, then they would stop you'd be able to get a chance to get out. But if they don't get it this time, then it's going to drop down, and you'd be getting hit by the needles the next round.
Can I give them aid, or is that?
There's nothing on your side to grab a hold of to really try and pull this thing.
And there's all three of us out here trying to do it, so.
Yeah.
We're working on it, buddy. Hold on.
Yeah. Thanks. Running out of options.
Where are we at? Ready to roll to get this door or this block up. Who's with me?
Let's quit this.
Now, could I take a insight check and push the door, or is it insights in action?
No, we
So
can
basically, what I'm trying to discern is if there's any kind of code in the skull's word. He says "eye" for escape. Do I think that an eye, like the eye that he has on the fork, can maybe be used to? There's some kind of key in that eye, like maybe even pushing it up or sacrificing the eye to the needles in the ceiling.
You get the sense that it's asking for another eye.
Yeah.
Okay. Within its skull.
That's what I figured. So I'll just do a straight up strength then, and probably fail epically.
Oh yeah, we're aiding.
I got a 13 if it's just straight up strength.
Plus your modifier. So, okay, so yeah.
So 15 then.
Okay. So that's total. Total 19. So as you can see, Guts kind of pushing against it. He's able to, really put himself into this, and it skits out a couple more inches. You can see it's right, almost flush with the inside wall as they're pushing against it. Jeff and Shex, if your characters want to make rolls to try and move this thing as he's pushing up against it.
That is correct. I'm not sure who's next, but we'll just roll it out here. Oh my God.
I need a 1/100 roll.
Where is... There it is. Get rid of that one. 37.
All right. And Shex, how about your character?
For the strength to try and push this thing, it's a measly 12.
Oh, that might be enough, though. 9 to 11. Yep. So as these two other men help Guts push this thing in, it moves a couple inches and a few more inches. Eventually, they're able to get it in there just enough so as the ceiling crashes down the next foot, it lands on top of this doorway that's been pushed in a little bit. You're going to have to really squeeze to get in between where the stone that they pushed in and the doorway to get out, Jeff, but it's definitely doable.
So is there a threat of the ceiling going down any further from what we can tell?
You can hear it straining against the stone that seems to be, kind of blocked it from going down a little bit, but you can already see like little cracks starting to form in the stone block and stuff as the weight of the ceiling is pressing down on it.
Oh, snap.
Guts and Shex's character, as you guys are pushing against this, you can hear this weird sort of moan come from this man beside you, and when you look over, you can see his skin takes on a very soft pinkish sort of appearance. His hair shortens up a little bit. Jeff, why don't you roll me 1d12?
Stop making me roll dice, man.
This is never good news.
You almost seems like his skin and everything's kind of refreshed a bit. You're gonna lose 1 year of your life, so you're gonna be 1 year younger than what you were.
Oh, shit. Well, that's 1 year younger or older?
Younger.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not
You
so
think
bad.
it's good until it happens again. You're like, oh.
So nothing too bad that time. So yeah, this skull kind of rushes around. He's gonna make his attack on you, and he got absolutely nothing. So he kind of lashes around. You can see he's kind of tearing at your feet and stuff. And then it all of a sudden just kind of stops, almost in face to face in front of you, Jeff. It's the eye that's has no eyes now as it kind of stares back. It lets out this weird sort of growl, and then it rushes past you and out through this little crevice in the doorway. It kind of rushes past the guys on the steps. If you guys want to make an attack on it, you can, but it's basically just going to run out the doorway and down the steps.
I'm gonna boot it.
All right.
Yeah, I got it. Oh, there you go.
What'd you get?
Me? I got 19 and 7 damage.
All right. Yeah, you can hit this thing with your foot, and it just kind of tumbles over the edge. You can see it kind of spin down and finally just kind of disappear into this mass of bodies below you.
I'll say there's your eye for you. Find it down there.
Are we finding eyes? Please help. Can I crawl out?
Yeah.
Thank you. I would like to crawl out now.
All right. Hey, I feel great, guys. Feel like a new man.
Rejuvenated.
The only good thing to happen, and it came from a critical fail. I'm like on the floor in like not fetal position, but like sitting there cross-legged, just like that sucks.
As Jeff's character pulls himself from this doorway, you can see when he kind of turns a little bit where this syringe or whatever this needle is kind of punctured his shoulder. You can see what looks to be almost like a fog or a light-colored steam kind of wisping away from his shoulder out this tiny little pinhole, and then it kind of waves away into the distance.
Can I grab any of those syringes, or they're all gone?
They're inside the room, but they're attached to the ceiling. You can break some off. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take one of those.
Okay. It's basically like a dart. Treat it as a dart.
Okay. But it's got stuff inside it, right?
It's connected to like glass bowls that are attached to the ceiling.
Oh,
I mean, you can
okay.
pull one away, but it's going to break away though.
Darn it. I thought I was going to have ghost darts. Oh, well.
Not that easy.
No.
Pick up
Where's...
the eye that was thrown through the door?
Yeah, definitely. Get the eye.
Well, I didn't throw. I just was like, guys, is this useful for anything?
So yeah, I guess it'd still be at the end of his fork.
It's an eye fork. That's like +1.
Tell me he can maybe eat it later if he gets hungry.
It's like gross damage.
I was going to make
extra-
a joke there about eye forks and iPhones, but I'm not going to bother.
So I would look to our discombobulated group and say we probably need to get some kind of plan here. If we're just going to go through opening door by door and having that outcome happen, I don't think we're going to make it too far.
All right. Yeah. This just running around willy-nilly ain't going to happen. I'm Janik, by the way.
Janik, I don't remember my name, but they seem to around here call me Guts. The demons it is that. Or that is. What about you guys? I'd look over to Chex and Frederick's characters. Do you guys remember your names?
Oh, I have no idea. I'll take what you want to call me.
Well, who gets, let's see, eyeballs? Who's balls? Let's call him balls.
Oh, great. It's great now.
Balls.
Balls. Okay.
He's got the balls.
Balls to the wall.
I was mostly balls to the floor lately, but
I'll look at you and say I don't remember nothing. So I guess you can call me nothing.
Oh, I thought we remembered our names. Oh, well. Maybe I just made one up.
Yeah, that's fine. So we have nothing. Guts, balls, and Janik.
Hopefully you remember your name, because I don't know if I'd want to be called Balls for a long time. So what are we going to do next, gentlemen? Are we just going to keep opening doors? I don't really know what choice we have here. It's only a matter of time before one of those baddies come back. I don't know what they did to you, but as for me, I've been having my guts ripped out and shoved in my face for what seems like eternity. Kind of tired of that.
Yeah, that would get old. Yeah, let's check out, do we check out some more doors? Do we go down, like,
Can we
swim
get some
through
kind of
bodies, or
insight?
what?
Do we have any kind of insight to direct us, or is it just kind of a door by door?
It's kind
yeah,
of
last time I went through a door. I'm just saying.
Yep, it's kind of, I guess, at this point, about 200 yards below you, 250 yards below you, is this massive wrath of bodies that are just writhing in on each other. You can smell of feces and vomit and just filth below you that seems to be wafting up. You do see a couple of doors spreading off from the wall in the stairwell below you. And up above, it travels almost as far as you can see until it just ends in this bright, white, glowing light above you, far, far overhead. All the way up the spiral staircase goes. Some places you can see doors. You can see more hanging cages. You can see the small little forms of these apple babies flittering about here and there.
Well, I don't know how much choice we have then to just go door by door. Do we want to start at the bottom and make our way up? Kind of say with reluctantly.
I'd rather go up than go down at this point, in all honesty. I don't
Let's
like
have
the
at her
idea.
then. And I would just start walking up the stairs to the next door.
Yeah, one's as good as the next.
Yeah, I'm going to be
Guess we go
right behind him.
I'll look at Balls and say, what do you say, Balls? Do you want to be the kind of front man? You seem to do really well at that first room there. Collect
Hey,
yourself.
you want to give me a persuasion check? You want to do like...
Oh, yeah. I'm really charismatic as you look at my like scar-faced or eyeball, and I
Yeah.
actually managed to roll 15 with a -1.
Oh, that's what did I got a 15 with a -1. So I'll give it to you though. Sounds good to me for at least the next few moments. I was like, I guess I did do pretty good in that room.
Not really expecting you to go long with it. I'd say maybe we should use a little more caution before just jumping in next time though, and then hopefully get to another door by the time we're done talking.
Hey,
For the
it's
record,
my first time. All right.
Do you want my passives?
Yeah, actually, that would help. Yeah.
So I got a passive insight of 15, passive investigation of 9, and a passive perception of 13. If I'm gonna be front man.
Okay. Alright. Got it. As you kind of walk up this stairwell, you pass by the first door. It looks almost like it's made of some sort of mirror finish. As you pass by it, though, you don't see any reflection of yourselves. You see a reflection of this tower that you're in, and the cages, up above you and below you, and the walls around you and stuff. But you have no reflection in this doorway. Just beside that is another doorway, though. This one is a heavy wooden door. It has what looks to be some sort of demonic, bestial-like face carved onto the face or onto the front of it. In its mouth, it holds like this big iron knocker.
So I got one choice in front of me, one to my right.
Yep.
I'm gonna go. Anyone? I'm gonna be like, anyone? Got a preference?
Why don't you knock and see who's there? I'll look to the beast knocker.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. I'm gonna ready a dodge though, but I'm gonna go for that knock.
Yeah.
Very cautiously.
As you pull this knocker up and hit it against the door, just lets out this thundering boom several times. It kind of echoes all around you, but there's no answer. You don't hear anything from the other side.
What's the door made out of? Do we have a sort of an idea?
Wood. Looks like a heavy wood,
Wood.
of some sort. Yep.
Good. Can I give it a kick?
It has a door handle too, if you want.
See, I could do that, but we've learned opening doors traditional ways leads to nothing good. Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a look over. But is there anything? Just a regular door handle?
Yeah, this looks like a regular door handle. Looks like it would open inward.
Well, as long as it opens inward, yeah. Why don't I kind of give it? I'll give it like a little turn. I won't push it, but I'll see if it turns.
Yep, it turns. You can hear the the little door mechanism, whatever, kind of click as it unleashes itself.
Do we see like can I get like a little crack, do a little sneak crack door open deal?
Yep. As you open it up just a little bit, you can see that almost like a greenish sort of glow, like some sort of green light is emanating from the room. Smells very musty, wet sort of sound. You can hear like what sounds to be some sort of buzzing and crunching sort of sound kind of echo through the room. As you open it up just enough to get a peek into the room, you can see what looks to be some sort of large green fleshy sack hanging from the ceiling. It looks like it hangs almost from an umbilical cord. As you follow it up to the ceiling, it looks like webbing across the top of the ceiling, and then this umbilical cord down to this green fleshy sack, almost tumor-like as it hangs. As the door opens up just a little bit more, you can see that there's more and more of these green hanging sacks from the ceiling. Otherwise, the room looks to be pretty much made of stone. You can see in the distance that it kind of stretches off and looks like a little hallway kind of bends around a corner in the distance.
Wow. Anyone want to cut some of these open?
Huh. Big green sacks.
I can only imagine what they want to offer, what they want us to offer them in this room.
You want us to cut them open.
Well, just one, at a time.
Yeah, go for it. I got your back.
Yeah, so I got my foot. Well, someone's gonna have to hold my eyeball, unless we have another sharp thing.
I'll pocket it.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Just
Thanks. You
toss
got
it in
my
your loincloth.
balls. You got my back. Yeah, I'm gonna. So, like, how close is the nearest one to the door? Because I've learned being near the door is my friend.
Probably just within, just within almost arm's reach, just a little in front of you.
Can I get an arm to add to my arm's reach from the wall? Or from the stairs?
Yeah, I'm curious about these green sacks now. So yeah, you're gonna hold my hand.
Not your little. I mean, like, do we have still bone shards and stuff all available?
Yeah, it's in the stairwell. I mean, they're all made of flesh and meat, so I mean, you could definitely find a large bone or an arm bone of some sort or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, why? Let me see if I can get something to poke it with. That's a little bigger than this little arrow thing we have.
Yeah, you kind of dig around. You find a few longer bones that are longer than this little pitchfork that you have. If you were to stand in the doorway and kind of reach out, you'd be able to reach the sack and maybe tear it open or poke at it or whatever you want to do to it.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So, who has a hold of balls?
I do.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. Be ready to pull my loincloth.
Oh yeah.
So as the other two of you watch, Janet kind of step into this doorway holding the back of Balls' shirt as he kind of reaches forward, poking at this little green sack. It kind of sways back and forth a few times. You can see the whole thing kind of quivers a little bit. As he pokes it a few more times, the whole thing just kind of bursts apart. You can see what looks to be like green pus and stuff just splatter across the floor, across the room. I need a dex save from Janix and Balls, please.
Do I add my proficiency to that? Yeah.
Yes. If
Let's
that's
say.
your
Well, so I get Dex plus 3. So I rolled a 17. I get plus 3 from Dex and plus 2 from proficiency. So
Okay.
yeah, it gives me a 22.
Okay.
7.
Okay.
7.
You still get splattered by a few bits of this pus and stuff. You can feel it all right away burn into your skin, leaving little pock marks. Balls, you're only going to take 1 hit point of damage. Poor Janik behind you, as you kind of dodge out of the way a little bit, seems to be covered in this stuff. It comes from head to toe. Almost, you can feel it burning right away.
My beautiful skin.
And you took 7 points of damage. As you kind of look down and try to wipe this gunk off, you can see these tiny little worms, about the size of your finger,
Jesus.
burrow underneath your skin. You can see them kind of crawling up underneath the skin on your forearm, leading towards your chest. A couple of them get inside your leg. You can feel them crawling around inside of you. There's a total of, 7 of them that get inside of your skin and slowly start crawling around. I need a wisdom save from you two.
Okay.
You 2 TWO or TOO?
Also 2.
Okay.
Also.
Oh, boy. An 11.
Alright. So as you kind of see these things, you can feel the fear kind of rising up in a bit as all of this starts to culminate around you. You're going to get 1d4 insanity, so I'll let you roll that.
Good. I've been rolling really good on the D4s. Oh, hey. All right. Messed up that time.
Killing it.
Insanity, yeah?
Yep. So mark 1 insanity.
Okay. Yeah, so is there any way I can, stab one of these things? Can I see them crawling in my hand?
Yep, you can see them crawling underneath your skin. They just open this tiny little slit and just crawled right beneath your skin. You can see them crawling up your leg and crawling down your arm. You could cut them out if you wanted.
They're inside my skin, right?
Yep, just underneath it.
Yeah, I got that little toothpick or whatever the hell it is, a pitchfork. I want to stab one with it.
All right.
I want to see what it is.
Give yourself 1d4 damage. You're able to kind of sink this fork into there, and as you pull it free, you can see the tiny little barbs that are on it as it kind of pulls. It's stuck right in there, and as you kind of pull it out with the fork, it takes bits of your flesh with it. So yeah, you take 1d4 damage. As you pluck it out, you can see it looks like a tiny maggot about the size of your finger, kind of yellowish green in color. The face of it looks like a woman's face, though. Bald and everything because it has no hair, obviously, but it looks like a female's sort of face. Where its mouth would be are just dozens of little tiny barbs.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm going to squash that. And, Jesus. You guys basically just see me sitting there doing, the meth head, oh, my God thing, just...
So, yeah, Guts is a pretty
Get off of me!
He's a pretty hardened-looking man. It doesn't look like, at first glance, it looks like he'd be pretty not frightened by anything, but he's not taking this too well as he sees you just, stab yourself and rip out this disgusting wound. He's trying to collect himself and not look like he's bothered, but he's borderline retching at this as he sees little worms crawling through your skin. It's Jesus fuck.
Balls, as you kind of get your bearings and look around, you can see that there's a total of 7 other sacks in this room hanging down from the ceiling. Off in the darkness where this little hallway branches around the corner, you can hear a crunching and chirping, buzzing sort of sound. And then you see this creature kind of lumber around the corner. Almost looks like a crab. It has huge tentacles that hang down from its face, 2 large pincers in each hand, total of 17 legs that kind of slither across the floor. Large, spiky exoskeleton across it. It's about the size of a large dog. It comes into the room, and you can see it's behind it. It's carrying this umbilical cord sack that's still partly attached to it. And it stops, kind of looking in your direction. It lets out this weird sort of noise, and then rushes forward. I need initiative, please.
Guts is okay, we know what's in this room. Let's just carry on.
Yes, bye guys. I don't want to be point man anymore. Yeah, 15, I want to say. Let me see. No, 13, excuse me.
I'm going to be...
considering that I'm actually in the room.
Nothing.
Oh, I'm gonna get so smacked. Thank God for attacks of opportunity.
Let's see. Guts got 16.
18 for Janik.
Nice. Janik. And balls. 13. Alright. So nothing. You would be up first. You can kind of peer around the other guys' shoulders and stuff, and you can see this thing in the room in the distance. You're up first if you'd like to do something.
Yeah, well, Guts is barely retching, barely containing it. Nothing's full on retching, even vomiting, seeing these crawling things. He has no weapons or anything of use to at hand, so I guess he's going to go up to the door and he's going to attempt to maybe break off the handle or break off a piece of wood, something he can use as a weapon.
You also have, the stairwell that you're standing on has these heavy bones you might use for a club or a bone dagger or something.
Oh, even better. Yeah, if that's got that, even better.
Yep. You can find a nice large leg bone or something. Just treat it as a club.
Okay. Does that take an action to do or anything?
Nah. I mean, there's plenty of them around, so.
Yeah, superbly. Oh, caution to the wind. He'll rush forward and attempt to strike this Sulfur or Dally crab.
Alright.
I leave all the future naming to you.
It's the Dada Demon.
17-legged crab with a fantastic mustache. So an attack on it would be a 17.
That's a hit.
Forgive me while I try and remember what a club is. It's 1d4, I believe.
D4 bludgeoning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's D4.
Ooh, yeah. Plus strength.
Okay, so that's 8 damage. 7 damage, my bad.
And you added your proficiency and your strength?
For the attack, yes. For the damage, just strength.
Got it.
Alright. And Janik, you would be up next. You can see nothing kind of rush past you with this large club, cocking this thing. You kind of hit it across what would be its head or something. You can see a little crack kind of go in its exoskeleton. And you can see the whole writhing mass of tentacles kind of wiggle about as they're getting ready to lash out towards where nothing is.
Yeah, I'm going to get as many of these worms out of my body as possible. How many can I do in one turn?
It's going to be 1d4 damage for each one you pluck free. It's up to you how many you want to do.
Oh my god. 1d4. I want to try and get 4 of these little bastards out of me. I mean, I don't like this. How many? There's 6 more, right?
Yep, you got 6 more in you.
Son of a bitch. I'll do 3. Come on, not too bad, not too bad. Oh, that's not bad. 4, 5, okay.
Yep, you can see you pull these 3 more free. The 3 that are left kind of start moving towards your torso and your lower abdomen.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much all I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I'm a little preoccupied, guys.
All right. You can see this creature kind of move its 2 huge claws towards where nothing is at. It kind of swings around almost like clubs as its tentacles lash out. What is your AC at the moment? Nothing?
Unarmored AC is at 11.
Okay. All right, got 16 and a 5. So the clubs kind of swipe past you. It looks almost like it was using these swinging mess of these pinchers almost as a distraction. So as you kind of move out of the way of those, you can feel its tentacles wrap around your face. You can feel them digging into the back of your skull as it gets a hold of you. And take 8 points of damage. And you're considered grappled at the moment.
Okay.
And let's see. Guts and balls, you guys are up.
Jesus.
All right. Well, the punching is commenced, so who goes? Did we tie? I'll go for it.
It don't matter either one.
I'm gonna run up and I'm going to do a. I'm essentially gonna punch it 3 times because I'm gonna get my standard attack, my bonus attack, and I'm gonna spend a key point and get a flurry blow.
Okay.
Let's see here.
AC
And
is 14, so.
does it? And I don't have any advantage or anything because it's occupied grappling. Because
Yeah,
it has
but that's-
extra limbs.
Yeah, it's not occupied or nothing, so.
Got it. So let's see here. 19 plus whatever is a hit.
Yep.
I'm just gonna roll all of them here. Crit.
Okay.
And a 19.
So, yep, all 3.
And then I'll do. How do you want to handle crits for?
Your choice. Just let me know before you roll. You can roll twice or take double your first roll, whichever one you want to do.
You don't want me to confirm or anything?
No.
Okay. So I'll just take double for expedience. Then I get 1d4 on unarmed attacks. So that's a 4 plus. That's a 7 on the first hit.
Okay.
That's a. Do I add my bonus twice for my dexterity to
No.
damage?
Nope.
No.
only
Okay.
once.
7 again.
Okay.
And a 5 for a total of 19.
Got it.
Damn.
So as you kind of lay into this thing, what do you do? Are you doing like moves that you know, or just beating the shit out of it, or?
Well, I mean, so as I pummel it, like I sense what is key essentially, because I don't have any recollection of the training, but it's more of a natural progression of the body. It's I'm gonna just lay into it, but as I'm doing that, the muscle memory sparks, and I realize, well, one guy could have gotten a hit in. I'm managing a second one, and then I have this extra, the energy inside me, so I know a third one's going to land pretty well. And I'm trying to aim for the crack, but by no means do I think I have the skill. But as I'm doing it, I sense, my footwork kind of takes place, my stance comes into being, and I wail all 3 blows essentially into the same spot almost instantaneously.
Nice. You can definitely see that crack kind of spreading across it. You can see a big part of the shell or whatever this is that encases this thing fall away to this real slimy membrane that's below. As the thing kind of screeches out, you can see it lashes about a few times. As you're able to use this ability and this key, and you kind of have that muscle memory come back, I'm going to have you roll a 1d10, please.
Yes, certainly. Roll 6.
6. All right. So as this kind of, this muscle memory kind of comes across you, and you land these blows, you kind of feel this state of almost like a nirvana or euphoria sort of state. A bit of relaxation kind of overcomes you. Everything around you seems to almost melt away, and you see yourself in the middle of this bustling festival. There's dozens of people all around you. You see this group of boisterous men, probably younger lads, later teens, early 20s, kind of hurry by you. They all smell of some sort of incense and alcohol. And as you kind of look at where they're going, you can see that they're chasing after a small group of women who seem to be flirting with them. As these 4 men pass by, one of them stops just a moment, and his eyes kind of lock with yours. You have this feeling you should know who this guy is, or he seems to know who you are, or something. There's a connection there that you're just not able to figure out. He kind of shakes his head and rushes after his friends as they start to make obscene gestures and sexual advances on these girls. Just for the moment, you can smell this incense in the air again, and as you kind of look around the area, you can see that in your right hand is a small package. It looks almost like an envelope that's been wrapped in vellum and tied up with a bit of twine. And this this feeling of nirvana kind of washes over, and you can feel this moan escape your lips. And then you kind of fall back, and it feels like you've just fallen into these big billowy clouds or big cushions all around you. And as you can kind of slowly see this vision slowly fade away a little bit, and when you look around again, you can see you're back in this room with yourself and these other men. And let's see, balls, guts, you are up, and I will actually send you a description of that vision for your notes too, whenever everybody has one.
Alright, so Guts kind of trying not to retch and then looking at Janik just carving himself up and peeling out these worms. He's not doing too good, so he realizes that he doesn't know you guys at all, and he's questioning how much he wants to put it on the line for you. So I'm going to roll a wisdom really quick to see if I'm doing ranged attacks and not going in that room at all, or if I'm going to dive forward. And wisdom is 14, so he just shrugs it off, if you're cool with that, and looks to grab any kind of sharp object, knowing that he can't make it out of this by himself. He's going to risk the skin worms and grab onto a sharp bone and reluctantly charge in, and the same kind of thing. He doesn't really know what kind of experience he has, and he's going to do 3 attacks spending a key point. One is a crit, one's 22, and one is 8, so I'm assuming the third missed.
Yep.
So the first one, he has this sharp bone in his hand, and he plunges it into that kind of membrane, gooey membrane that balls is just broken away for a total of 14 damage, because I just multiplied my first roll of 7. Sticking that bone in there, I'll then use my other fist to kind of just start pounding it in deeper for a total of 4 more damage.
That'll take it out, actually.
Cool.
I would hope so.
Start violently stabbing it over and over again.
I need a 1d10 from you then, too.
Oh no, no worms.
I got all the worms.
9.
9.
Please, no. I'm also going to add that when I kill a creature, I have a touch of death, which gives me temporary hit points of wisdom modifier plus my level. So 6 temporary hit points for me.
Okay, just make a note of that. As you just constantly stab into this thing and you pound this bit of bone shard deeper and deeper into this membrane, everybody around you, they kind of watch you just kind of go into this frenzy on this thing. Even though you know what you're doing and you can still act upon it, you get this almost like a memory or something kind of washes back over you. You get this urge that you're gasping for breath, and all you can manage to do is gulp water, like a thick mucus, very phlegm-like water, and it fills your lungs up in the burning, and all you can remember is just burning and how much it hurts, and then just blackness all around you. You can feel somebody grab a hold of your ankle as if they're trying to pull you deeper down into this thick water or whatever it is. And as you kind of try to fight back and swim up, you can feel somebody grab a hold of your wrist. And for just a few moments, you can feel this tug of war going on as somebody tries to drag you deeper in the water and somebody tries to pull you out. And more hands grab a hold of you, some pulling you down. You can feel their feels like claws or really calloused hands digging into your legs and your ankles. And somebody kind of pulls up above. As the others kind of try to pull you up, you feel like you're starting to kind of make headway and be pulled out of whatever this is before everything kind of goes black and you come back to your senses as you stand over top of this, what's left of this pulpy, bloody creature in front of you.
Cool. He's just like exhaling breaths as he just realizes, coming out of that vision, that he's where he is and just finished off this horrible crab creature.
I'd like to be resourceful with the body whenever that's appropriate.
Yep, go for it. What would you guys like to do? Like I said, there's a total of 6 more hanging sacks in this room, and then one that's still partly attached to this creature. You can see where it came from, like a little hallway branching around the corner. You can definitely smell a strong odor of death and decay coming from its lair, or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, and hey guys, worms. Worms.
Seeing that he's in the room now, Guts will immediately like yell that no one touched the goddamn sacks while he's in this room.
What about touching your sacks? No, I mean so
Can we look like? Can we help
split
Jeff?
exoskeleton.
Mm-hmm. What would you like to do with it? Oh, P-trap, maybe.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got to get these goddamn worms out. Whenever that comes around again. I got 2 more.
Do we look like there's any way that we could help him so that he doesn't take as much damage? Maybe something more. We grab like a really sharp bone and kind of surgically do it.
If somebody has some sort of medicine or something like that, you could roll to help. But otherwise, it looks. I mean, obviously he's taking damage as he kind of plucks these things out, but their barbed mouths and stuff is just ripping pieces of flesh out with them.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm just taking them out.
Get better.
What did I get? I took 4. Okay. I'm still good. I'm pretty. I'm not looking so good though.
Yep. I'm actually need you to give me a wisdom save and
Ah,
then
God
roll a
damn
1d10.
Oh, Jesus. Ooh, got a 20.
Nice.
Plus,
So as you-
whatever.
Yeah, as you pull this last one out, you can see this, this female-like face or whatever it has at you, and its tiny little barbed teeth that pull out a bit of a flesh with it. It seems to just be like saying something really soft, so you can barely hear it, unless you want to put it up to your ear. But it sounds like it's whispering something, but you just can't make out whatever it is.
I'm gonna get a real good grip on it. Okay. And yeah, I think when in Rome, I'm just gonna shove this thing up to my ear.
It could
Sounds
be
like
a
a good
babble
idea.
worm. Could be a babblefish.
Yeah, exactly.
You
What could
can
go
definitely
wrong?
hear it chanting something or saying something, but it's in like a demonic language or something that you can't recognize. But it's just saying the same series of phrases over and over and over.
Can I memorize? I mean, I'm just gonna memorize that phrase. Can I
Okay.
do that, or is it enough to where
Yeah, I
I'd
mean,
be
if
able
you
to
hear it
just
again,
phonetically sound it out?
Yep.
Nice.
So yeah, just make a note that you have this. It's called
Yeah.
a void larva phrase, remembered or something like that. I'll let you know if you hear it again or when it comes up.
Larva chant. Okay.
And what you got? A 2 on your.
I got a 2 on my D10.
All right. As you kind of let this thing go, you realize the pain's kind of overtaking you. Want to take care of these things out from your body, and the toll that it's taken. You kind of feel your sanity crack a little bit as you do this, but you're able to fight it off. But as you take a seat and try to gather your senses, this memory or this feeling kind of overcomes you a bit, and you can see yourself sitting atop this massive worsty. There's easily another dozen men around you, all dressed in loose silks and bandanas, all different colors. Overhead, you can see this huge glaring sun that beats down on the fresh morning dew. Steam and fog kind of linger across the ground. There's this great crashing sound in the distance, and you can see all these men that are around you kind of take chase after something. And up ahead, you can see this great dire boar crashing through the underbrush. You can see that its stomach is well bloated out, and its tits kind of laying on the ground as it runs, trying to get away from you as you hunt this thing down. You feel like you've been chasing this thing for days upon days, and all these men that you seem to maybe command or something, you're not quite sure who they are or what they are, but eventually you get this huge beast kind of surrounded, and you can see that an arrow punctures its flank, and then another one punctures its lung, and finally they bring this beast down, and as you come upon it, you step off your horse, and you drive this, looks like a very ceremonious sort of spear, not really something for fighting, but something more for a visage, and you kind of drive it through its eyeball and down into its brain, killing it. Everything kind of slows down for a moment, and then the last vision you get is this woman standing in front of you. She's completely nude, she's covered in blood, and she holds out what looks to be the baby fetus of this dire hog that's laying across her palms, and she hands it towards you. As you kind of grab a hold of it, you lift it up, and then the vision sort of fades away.
Well, shit. Okay. Damn, I'm just basically in the fetal position in a corner at this point. Because the knees, my knees are up here. I'm just kind of. And I just took a bunch of worms out of me, and now I'm seeing shit.
As the rest of you kind of move around this room, staying clear of the hanging sacks, I assume, nothing. Just around the corner, you can see what look to be several body parts and old mangled bodies where this thing has been feeding off of them for quite a while. Looks like they might have some gear and stuff on them, too.
I don't
See.
suppose we could use the carcass, like the shell, to make makeshift shields or anything for anyone who's worth that.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough of a big part of a carapace. Somebody could probably use part of it as a shield, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, seeing the strewn body parts, the shield. Start again. Seeing the strewn body parts and the fact that there might be gear there, nothing will actually make mention of the fact that there may be useful items around the corner. We'll say, guys, we may actually find something useful here after all.
I join him and look at what he's pointing out, see if I see anything.
Yep, as it kind of branches around, it looks like mostly just desiccated bodies that have been torn apart and are rotting away, but there is one that looks fairly fresh, as far as the dead look anyway. It has some leather armor on it, nice little small steel shield, and what remains of a broken long sword. It's more of a short sword now, but it's definitely usable and something there.
Guts would say that for some reason he feels the urge to just use his hands. Says it feels more natural, but if anybody else wants that.
Yeah, I say something along the same lines as like, no, I think that would encumber me. I think that would feel pretty free like this.
Well, I managed to get my shit together and sort of wander into the room, notice that you guys are there, remember what's going on. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick that up. Unless anybody's got a problem with that.
Just look to nothing and make sure that nothing's not protesting it, but got to say that it's better that at least one of us equips themselves if they feel the need to.
Yeah, nothing. You see him kind of look at the short swords as you kind of test it, and you can see he's got a bit of an appraising eye while he does so, but he makes no move.
All along the hilt and the blade of this thing, nothing. You can see what looks to be some sort of scripture or something that's in a language you don't know. You can't sure what it says, but it definitely has a sense of familiarity for you.
Clato, Barato, Necto? I don't know what that means.
Exactly.
So is it almost like a sense of a drawing feeling, a pulling feeling?
Yep. Like you should definitely know what it is, or you've seen it or something, but just that connection's not there, but you know it is.
Okay, feeling that urge, I think nothing would probably reach out and take it from you. As you kind of go to back it up, just kind of nudge you aside.
Ooh, I don't know about that. You know what though? I'm just like a complete zombie at the moment. Frankly, after what I just had to do, I'm just kind of floating around. I just look like a zombie, just kind of clambering around the room. Someone might want to remind me not to touch the sacks.
A young zombie, so you have that going for you.
That's right. With gaping wounds all over me.
Guts would go up to you and make sure to tell you to keep a level head.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm keeping the worm.
That's fucked up.
Put it in your pocket for later.
Hey, man. This thing is part of me now.
Take a step back.
This thing knows me deeper than anyone ever has.
Ugh. I was flinging at an eyeball, and that seems weird to me. I'm like...
So yeah, looking at Janik's kind of wounds that he's cut on himself, Guts is just kind of like itching at himself, like he feels like stuff's crawling on him, even though he knows it's not. And looking around the room, he would just basically say, if we've got everything we need, I would prefer that we get out of this. Is there anywhere else to go in the room?
Nope. Besides, I mean, it's little layer area and stuff, but there's no other exits or windows or anything like that in here.
To the next room, balls?
Can we consider this a short rest?
Well, as you guys kind of hang out for a few, so yeah, you can definitely consider it a short rest.
Is it like a half hour or no?
If you want to hang out for a half hour, that's fine.
How I'd feel about
Every
it.
now and then you can see the sacks quiver a little bit.
Yeah, no. Guts is already out.
Yeah, I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, the site's clever, but nothing quivers a little bit more every time.
I'll say to Janik to let's find a room that's maybe a little more comfy, a little less sacky.
Yeah. We'll have to tell the concierge we asked for a non-sacking room. Sorry.
There might be more good stuff in the sacks, guys. I mean, like the first one was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm already gone.
Yeah. I'm just...
So in terms of the equipment,
Alright.
who grabbed what there? I presume you grabbed the armor.
There's leather armor, a small steel shield, another steel shield, but it's actually the exoskeleton of the thing, and then the broken longsword, which is a short sword. So,
well, shit, I'll take all of it. I'm just going to start reaching for all of it. Now that I got my shit together. Anybody?
I see nothing's making a grab for that sword.
Alright, so...
And if you attempt to stop him, he'll just poke a finger into one of those open wounds you have on you where the worms dug in. And
Yeah,
just touch the finger.
I don't see there being much use in fighting together at the moment, so...
No, not at all.
I see you reaching for that shield, that sword, so you go for it. I'm going to get the shield.
So you got the steel shield. Let's see, nothing has a sword. Who wants the leather armor, and who wants the other steel shield? Well, treated anyway.
I suspect any of this would decrease my armor class and increase my encumbrance, so...
Yeah, the monks really, there's nothing too much there for the monks. So if one of you guys want another shield, then...
So we got a leather armor and another shield, right?
Yep.
And he got the broken longsword.
Yep.
Yeah, I grabbed the shield. I'll start taking that leather off of that guy, unless somebody wants to stop me.
It's all yours.
I don't suppose I can... what's the, like, tensile strength of the tentacles on the creature? Like, how long are they? Are they pretty tensile?
They're about the size of your forearm. They're kind of slack now that it's dead, but they're a little stretchy and kind of like an octopus tentacle, basically.
I don't suppose any way I could, like, fashion that into some sort of rope.
Well,
Yeah, but it'd probably only be about, 4 or 5 feet long total.
Yeah.
but it would add to our collection.
Indeed. Yeah, I may start grabbing those just in case we need some lengths of string or something.
I'm sure roll 1d6 and see how many you're able to kind of break off usable.
Got 3.
So each one's about the length of your forearm. About an inch in diameter thickness.
So, getting all the gear sorted out and heading out of the room, I presume. What's the next door we're looking at?
Right beside this one that you passed by was the one that kind of looked like a mirror, but didn't show any kind of your reflections. It showed everything else. If you're trying to travel on further up, what was up? You can see, just within walking distance or a short ways just across the hall from where you're at, or the tower that you're at, you can see another one that's almost like a coppery sort of color. It looks like it's made of wood. It has like the slats and it's banded with iron and stuff, but it has a color of copper, and you can see little veins of silver running through it.
Call down to the group whether we want to go. Do we want to do the mirror door, or this coppery silver door, folks.
Well, I think we should split the party. 2 and 2, cover both simultaneously.
Makes sense.
No. I vote for mirror door.
All right. Seeing that you guys are taking kind of a beat down, I'll open this door reluctantly, but Guts doesn't want to seem like a coward, so he's just gonna like take a deep breath, walk up to it, and then just straight on open it up.
All right. It doesn't look like there's any sort of handle or anything, but when you kind of press up against it with your palm, you can feel it's pretty cold to the touch, but it just kind of slowly swings open. Inside, you can see that it looks like a tunnel almost that kind of stretches off for probably a good 20 feet before there's another door in the distance. This one made of what looks to be some sort of pink fleshy material. But this entire hallway that you're looking at also looks to be almost like some sort of mucous membrane or something, almost like you were inside the mouth or something. Up along the ceiling of this circular hallway, you can see tiny little holes that drip a green sort of ooze. And on the walls of this hallway, all the way down through, you can see all sorts of forms, some dwarf, some halfling, humans, elves. But they've all almost been like partly digested and they're fused to the wall itself. When you open up the doorway, they all kind of look in your direction and start moaning and crying out for help, reaching out towards you with their little bit of limbs and hands that they still have left.
All right, so Guts is looking at this, and he's just like, and he's just like studying it, looking at it, and then he's like, all right, and is just gonna go to walk away.
Yeah. What's behind the other door?
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'd call out to the disintegrating bodies.
Yeah, bye.
See you. All right, when you get up to the other door, you can see that it feels like wood and everything, but it has it's the color of copper and it's smooth like copper. You can see little veins of silver running through it. This one has just a solid hole where the door handle would be. You can, when you kind of stretch down and kind of look into there, you don't see anything. You get the sense that there's some sort of light flickering off to the side, almost like a flame possibly. It has like an orangish light, and you can see this shadows of some sort of beastly creatures. Looks like 4 of them that dance along the wall, and you see this what looks to be a huge monstrous shape of some sort. As you kind of watch this, you can hear this bellowing. It sounds like of a cow.
Whoa. Well. These all seem to be really nice rooms. We wanted to go on this one.
I'm just wondering what the honeymoon suite looks like.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back to the other door and take a peek in there again. See if has it changed? Is it a meadow now?
Nope, it's the same exact thing. And as soon as this door kind of opens up, all those faces and half digested bodies and everything just kind of turns towards you, reaching for you, starting to moan. If you were to walk like directly down the center of this fleshy hallway or something, you might stay out of reach of these things, but it looks like they're trying to reach to get a hold of you or crying out for help.
How long is the hallway?
About 20 feet in length.
And then there's
at the far end, it looks like a big fleshy mass. Looks like an asshole at the far end.
Oh, fucking great.
Call out to Janik, but that's all him if he wants to go down that room, but I'm going to choose the cow room over the asshole.
Oh, reminds me of summer camp. Fuck, I don't know. We're screwed either way. So...
you can see, up above you, within walking distance or just above you, there's one more door.
Yeah, let's try that one. Maybe that one will be less.
At this point, I just will be like, I think we should just pick one.
Yeah. Anybody who wants to go in the asshole?
Let's see how like the carapace responds to the acid or the whatever it is dripping from the asshole or the mouth.
All right, that's a good idea.
Let's see if we can shield ourselves to some degree.
Yeah, I can just put my shield in there, like hold it out, like that.
Yeah, when you kind of hold it out, you can see from these little holes or whatever is in the ceiling that are kind of dripping down. You definitely see a bit of smoke rise off of this carapace shield as one of these little acid droplets kind of drip down. Doesn't really do any major damage, but it definitely sends a little bit of smoke up. You can see that's certainly acidic. It's not like raining down or anything. It's just an occasional drip here and there.
So it's what, like 20-foot hallway?
Yep.
Yeah, you can get down that.
I like your enthusiasm.
You'll be fine.
Well, God damn it.
Well, it's that.
Is everybody just like standing here staring at me, waiting for me to run down the hallway?
Yeah.
So the other option is the room with the giant thing and the fiery monsters, whatever. But there's another door. What's in the other door?
You're not sure yet. It's up above you, a story or two.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna go check that out.
All right. Roll me a 1d12.
A 12, huh? I get nervous when you ask me to roll the off-number dices.
Right.
That's why I pick them. 11. All right. So as you kind of come up to this door, you can see it's more like a curtain. It looks like it's made of some sort of humanoid skin. There's no fur, no hair or anything on it, but it just kind of hangs down over this archway. It's very cool, chill to the touch. You can see what looks to be blue and green veins that come through it and kind of writhe and that. When you touch it, you can see all these veins come like very engorged and pulsate violently for a few moments until you draw your hand away, and then it calms back down.
All right, guys. Well, this door is like a big dick. What are our choices here? So is it just the door? Do I just open it or close it, or do I shove it aside? What?
It's just like a curtain. You could push it aside if you wanted to, yeah.
So it's a meat curtain, is what you're telling me.
I'm glad someone else said that before I did.
Oh, I have no shame.
Slide that. Why don't you just slide it open?
Is anybody up here with me?
I'm standing beside you, telling you just to slide it open.
All right, I'm going to use my bone club and slide open see if I can push it aside, see what's in there.
I ready myself. I sneak. I'm hiding. I got a 2.
All right.
You need me to roll a D30 or something?
Nope. As you kind of push this aside, the whole curtain definitely becomes engorged and thick, and it kind of flaps a little bit. But inside, you can see what looks to be very large rooms, probably a good 100 feet or so in diameter. On the far side, up against the wall, is this huge mound of flesh. You can see little bits of, it's almost like a pile or a tumor of flesh. It quivers a little bit. You can see what look to be vertical mouth slits all over this thing, very large, a good 2 feet or so in size. There's small little wiggling engorged appendages that stick off of it and wiggle a little bit. Besides that, you don't see too much in there, but just behind where this thing is, you can see what looks to be a window that kind of peers out, and all you can see from where you're at is just like an orange glow from this window.
All right, well.
Little sigh of disappointment.
I'm going to step in there. Because I don't see how there's, at least this room, there's nothing immediately.
As you step in, you can see this thing almost reacts with excitement or whatever. It just kind of quivers a bit. It quivers a bit more excitedly, but it doesn't move. It doesn't seem like it can shift where it's at or anything. The floor seems to be very, very slick with some sort of opaque sort of slime.
Is it milky? Is it milky and opaque?
A little bit.
Is it brown and frothy? So how far away is the quivering mound of flesh?
Oh, probably about 50, 60 feet on the far side of the room.
Oh, shit. And the rest of the room is just a big open...
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm not dead yet, guys. Would you care to join me?
No.
What are you gonna do?
The asshole rim's not sounding so bad right now.
You're just gonna stand out in the hallway and just wait for me to die, so you know which way not to go.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
I'll just tell you that, like, just run for the window, see what you see. We got your back if something goes down.
If a stone block falls, I'll push it out of the way.
Hey, I did try. It wasn't my first instinct, but
Yeah, right.
So can I walk across? I'm avoiding the meat sack, or do I have to go around it?
There'd be more around it, but just beyond where it's at is where this little window is. You can see it's about 2 foot in squareness. It kind of peers out into whatever's out there. But yeah, you definitely have to go kind of around this quivering mass. The closer and closer you get, the more it quivers and becomes excited. But
Christ's
Getting
sakes.
Getting a whole lot of nope out of this room.
I'm still voting for the mouth tube.
Oh, you mean the asshole room?
The asshole room. Sorry. Yeah. Excuse me.
Honestly, the room with the burning monster sounds like the best to me.
Yeah, we've had success punching a thing once.
Yeah. Fighting's okay. It's skin worms and dick rims that intimidate me.
Excuse me. I think it's a void worm.
Sorry.
I'll have you know.
that's right.
It's okay though.
All right.
All right.
How we doing?
Doing great.
All right, I'm all set whenever you guys are.
Okay, so here I am. Obviously, hell, damnation, wherever the hell I am. This is a fucked up situation. So at this point, it's pretty much just fuck it. I want to see what's in that window.
Good call. Go for it.
So I will advance upon the quivering mass of God knows what. Slowly, stealthily,
Story of my
if
life.
that's possible. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, summer camp.
As you kind of pass by this thing, it doesn't, take any sort of offense or do anything, to hurt you or seem to be, directed towards you. It just continuously quivers. You can see these small appendages kind of engorge themselves, and the whole thing just kind of moves and shakes a little bit as you pass by. As you come up to this window and you kind of look out, at what looks to be some sort of wasteland. Everything's bathed in this orangish color glow. In the far, far distance, like miles away, you can see what look to be big, huge, jagged mountains. You can see there's something burning below you, but from your vantage point, you can't quite get leverage enough to see what it is that's down below you. But up above, you do see a bridge that connects this tower that you're in, and it connects over to this large ravine on the opposite side. And every now and then you can see these large, very strange, monstrous sort of creatures. They all look different. Some are large and bat-like with wings. Other ones are just more blobs, and just all these crazy creatures crossing across this bridge that's up above you. It looks like probably a good 7 or 8 stories above you. You hear like a sickening sort of plop sound behind you. When you look over, you can see what looks to be almost a translucent sack or something kind of spill forth from one of these vertical mouths that are on this creature and hit the floor. Inside of it, you see what looks to be a humanoid shape kind of pulling itself free from this translucent membrane. When it looks up at you, you can see this visage. It looks exactly like you, but it's very deformed. All of its skin kind of hangs off to the side. One leg is a little bit shorter than the other. It has a bit of a club foot. It has no hands, and it slowly kind of starts to pull itself up, just constantly moaning. almost like it's in ecstasy as it looks at you.
I run.
Yeah.
Yes, I run.
As you pass by this thing, you hear another sickening plop, and then
Oh.
another. As two more of these things seem to be birthed from this thing as they hit the floor, and they all look just like clones of you, just heavily deformed. And as you kind of run past this thing, they all three of them that kind of pull themselves up, shamble after you, trying to run the best they can, just moaning in your direction.
I'm gonna
So
cover
who-
his ass.
Yeah, I'm running for the door.
You're definitely faster than these things, so you can pass by these, get to the door without a problem, and and even close it with plenty of time if you wanted.
Oh yes, please. I will do that.
As he runs out, I run in with like one of my hands up for a high five. It's like tag, but no, I don't think I get a high five, and I feel sad. But I'm gonna go try to punch them because I've been feeling like punching him all day, and this seems cathartic. Also, punching things makes more sense than walking into asshole room.
There's one that's closer to you and a little bit farther behind's another, and then the third one that's just still pulling itself up the floor. You don't need to make an attack roll or anything, but as you hit this thing, where do you hit it?
Can I get an insight to see where would be the most damaging?
Probably the head.
Well, then let's do one hit to the head, one hit to the solar plexus.
All right, as you kind of do this combination, you hit it, you can feel your hand kind of punch into the thing. It's almost like some sort of spongy-like material. Your hand kind of sinks into it. When you pull it away, it's just kind of covered in this disgusting sort of slime. It doesn't look like you actually did any damage to it. It just kind of sunk into it. It pulls away with a sort of sound. It kind of turns towards you, and you can see that its features almost kind of twist a little bit, and then, like, just seconds later, you're staring back at this more deformed sort of look at you. This other two that kind of come up behind also have taken on your visage and kind of look at you, and they just kind of move towards you slowly, moaning, groaning a little bit, but they all have your sort of look now, but very deformed.
Can't punch him. Gotta run.
How'd that work out for you, pal?
They look a mite handsomer.
Okay. Can we close the meat shield now?
Yeah. Well, I'm running to the door. I am 20 feet in, 20 feet out.
All right. Just as you pass through the door, you can hear like two more sickening plops behind you, and when you look back, you can see two more of these birth stacks kind of flop to the ground, and these humanoid figures start pulling themselves out. Total of 5 of them now that kind of start shambling your direction. As you kind of close up this meat shield or whatever you want to call it, it quivers a little bit. What would you guys like to do? Just on the other side, you can hear these creatures moving forward, and I mean, there's no actual door here, so.
Right, it's the meat curtain.
Yeah.
And they just
Wanted to go with the curtain.
let Balls punch and then walk away. Like they're not trying to attack him.
Nope.
Wow. Are we concerned about them? We probably should be, but
I'm concerned about everything here.
do we want to try the next room, or are we gonna try to? I say someone goes and punches that meat's shaft in the middle of the room. Or we go on to the next room and not worry about them.
Well, they'll probably be coming out. I don't know. We got to see if they're going to come out. I mean, they may force our hand. We may not have a choice here.
Yeah.
The longer you guys stand and wait, you can definitely hear them shambling forward. Eventually, one of them will start pulling the big fleshy meat curtain aside.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't punch them, so don't have a lot of other options.
Was there? I mean, I guess I didn't say, but was there anything else in that room back by the window? Was there another exit? Anything that I noticed?
No,
No?
no other exits or anything. There's another window beside you, but it would have the same view.
Okay. Yeah, I got what I wanted out of that little adventure.
Yeah, that was great. Let's try the butthole room.
So as the one
How many
kind of
times have you said that?
as the one kind of pulls the curtain aside or whatever, you can see that it's just a few inches or a few feet away from you. Let's see, Balls, as you kind of look up and stare at this thing and its deformed features of what you are, but just very twisted, I need a wisdom check from you. Wisdom save.
Wisdom save is a 13.
All right. You're going to take 1d4 insanity as you lock eyes with this thing. You just kind of almost feel nauseated and worthless and very depressed all of a sudden as this thing kind of groans and kind of reaches for you as if it's kind of trying to, almost like it's trying to hug you.
Fuck.
Alrighty. I've taken that 3 sanity damage.
All right.
I'm gonna hit it with my club.
Yeah, turn them into clubs.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit that one with my club. I want to see what happens here.
Same thing. You can feel the sickening smush as it just kind of piles into it, and when you pull it away, its form kind of reforms around it, and it's just pulled away with a sickening slurp and kind of covered in this thick, disgusting, opaque glue or goo.
Is your club made of like a leg?
Yeah, it
Still?
was bone. It's a bone. Yeah. It's a femur. It's a human leg bone.
Alrighty.
So,
Perhaps we could draw them to the asshole room and throw them inside. Maybe the acid will dissolve them. Or
Looks like they're just following me. So I'm how fast are they going? Like what's their base speed, can I tell?
By rules, it's only 15. It's half whatever yours is. Well, normal yours. A normal
So-
would be 30.
Right.
Mainly just because they're gimpy-legged and club-footed and just slow.
So they're just advancing, but not seeming to
Yeah, as
be
soon as they
offensive
kind of,
at all.
Yep, as they kind of all gather around this curtain and they all just stare at Balls' character since they're taking on his form at the moment, and just stare at him a moment. The one that's closest to him is reaching out almost like it wants to hug him, but that's it.
I'm just gonna say like it looks like they've got some attachment. Go search the room while they're. I'll keep them at bay out here.
Oh, yeah. Are they paying attention to me? If
Nope.
he like pulls out.
Nope.
Oh, well, yeah. I'll scoot right back in through those meat curtains.
Okay.
Jesus, man, Jesus. What else are you gonna say? So yeah, I want to go. Yeah, check out. I mean, I guess I didn't miss anything before.
I'm gonna grab some kind of sharp object and then just stab it into that center meat area that's birthing these things.
Go ahead and make an attack roll first.
All right. Okay. I'll make one at a time. But my first one's a 17 for 5 damage.
Oh, let me swap pages here. For 5 damage.
Okay. I can attack again if nothing happens.
Oh no, go ahead.
All right. Another stab. This time I miss. I guess I'm grossed out by successfully plunging a bone into this.
All right. As you kind of bury this bone into this fleshy mass or whatever, you can hear almost like it deflates, and you can hear all this gas kind of pass through all the openings of this thing and the appendages and stuff, and the whole thing quivers a little bit. When you pull it free, it's just kind of, you can see a bit of spurt of blood kind of hit the floor and pass the thing. It doesn't immediately respond, but you'll notice that there's tiny little tendrils that kind of snake across the floor, and when you look down, you can see them crawling up your leg. They're real thin as they kind of crawl up your leg, and then you can feel a sharp pain as one digs into your calf, and then another one. I need a wisdom save, please.
Yay. Okay. 17.
17. So you're only going to take 1 insanity. And then Let's see what it has for its attack roll. What's your AC at the moment?
16.
And I got a 17. You can feel this thing almost like it's just trying to rip you off your feet, and it drags you down. When you hit the floor, as it pulls you down, it starts to pull you into itself. You can feel your only foot kind of sink into this thing, and you have this overwhelming urge to just kind of lash out at the closest person next to you, which would be Janik, and drag him with you. Like you want to be a part of this thing, and you want somebody else to enjoy this with you and be a part of this thing as it starts to draw you into one of these vaginal openings that it's on its body.
As I'm getting dragged down, I look to Janik and say, "Oh, this isn't so bad," and then reach out a hand.
He's gonna try and grab it because I was gonna try and grab him and help him.
Perfect. You just see a hand being reached out, then, and me mumbling something.
Yeah, I just reached down and start pulling, and you start pulling, and I'm like, "What the fuck? Oh, we're going this way."
Make opposing strength checks.
Yeah.
I'm not strong. But today I am 16.
Jesus. Nope. That'd be a 6.
So as these all these
Here we go.
5 clone things kind of surround you, balls. You can see one of them's reaching out to give you a hug, another one's kind of grasping at your shoulder, and eventually you're surrounded by these 5 creatures that are just trying to embrace you. What do you do?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna keep sort of strafing them and keep dodging them. I mean, there's no point for me to try to combat them.
Right. You can always stay just just out of their reach, but they just seem to follow you, constantly trying to reach out. And nothing. What are you up to?
Skirting around this, well, we'll call them Children of the Corn, I think. Getting that kind of vibe. Skirting around them and running into the room. I'm not sure if I probably wouldn't know what's going on in the Devil's Triangle over here. So I'm just gonna plunge the sword into this. Oh my god, the double entendres. Plunge the sword into this fleshy mound.
Alright, go for it. Make your attack roll.
Oh, you gotta be. I rolled a 3 on the die. I'm not doing nothing.
Alright, this thing kind of, right where you're going to plunge, it just kind of seems to open up this opening, so it just kind of sinks into nothing before you kind of pull it back out. I need a strength check from Guts first, and then Guts and Janik, you guys are up.
Strength check. No. Not one.
Natural 1? That's awesome.
I bet it is. The 100?
Yep.
83. That's a good number. I can feel it.
Okay. As you kind of start to scream, or being pulled into this thing, whatever you happen to say, whatever vocal words come out, all the others hear is almost sounds like you're barking at them. Your lips begin to froth a little bit, and you kind of get this very rabid sort of appearance. You basically are just going to speak in animal at the moment and act like a rabid animal. So,
why not?
Guts and Janik, you are currently up. Janik, as you're getting pulled by this man that's being sucked into this creature, you can see that his eyes kind of take on a very narrow glint, and he's acting very strange as he starts barking at you.
Oh, good God. Well, yeah, I'm still going to try to fight to pull him out of there until something is obviously threatening me.
Okay. Just do opposing strength checks then.
Okay.
Come on, low. Oh my god, 19.
What the Hold on. I gotta get my... There we go. My mouse wouldn't come on the other screen. Okay. That's 20.
Yeah.
Totes.
Alright, so you're able to pull him free. You're gonna take... So Guts, take 4 points of damage as Janik gets a hold of you, and he kind of pulls you free. You can feel all these tendrils and stuff that this thing had into your leg rip free. It peels part of your calf muscle away, exposing the bone beneath as he rips you free.
Whimper like an injured dog.
I feel a real kinship with you now.
This whole quivering mass shakes and starts to undulate with excitement again. And then you can hear this another sickening plop as another sack, kind of is vomited forth, and then another. When they stand up and they kind of pull themselves free from this membrane, you see very deformed visages of nothing staring back at them, and they slowly start to move in his direction.
And can I still make my attacks, or did I use up my action fighting being pulled?
Yep, that was your action for being pulled free. And
All right.
what would you guys like to do?
Gonna growl at the thing and strike it again if I can.
All right, yeah.
Crit for 14. And then I'll follow up with a 21 to hit and 5 more damage.
As you lay into this thing, it just seems to be quiver more and more, and it's almost like it's getting more and more excited. So you see 2 more of these big sacks kind of plop out, and these ones look like almost very feral-looking mimicry of Guts' character. They have bestial dog-like faces and like floppy ears that hang down. They slowly start pulling themselves free from this membrane.
What the fuck?
I'm getting territorial at this point and just growling at those mimicries of me, like a dog seeing itself in the mirror. Just pissed at it.
Good God Almighty. Jesus. Where is Let's see. So
Balls is over to the side,
nothing.
kind of. Yep, Balls is over to the side, kind of dancing around these 5.
Yeah, he's dancing with those guys. Okay.
And nothing is plunging his sword into the orifices of this thing at the moment.
Right. And then, so I'm gonna head out with Fred there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, there's nothing we can do. They just keep coming and coming and coming. There's no point in trying to attack this thing anymore.
Poor choice.
So we gotta find another way out of here. I mean,
I guess these things will just be in tow for a while then.
well, that asshole is looking better and better every minute.
I told you the assholes always look the best.
Did somebody get that drop?
Are we doing, like, it just looks like everything that we do to this massive skin is just making it happier?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Guys, I knew a lady like this. We just gotta go.
Yeah, never fuck with crazy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start yelling at everybody to get the fuck out of there. Not doing any good. Well, you're Guts. You're like batshit right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
He can understand you, and I mean, he can act on his own accord, but everything he says just comes out as barks and growls and very dog-like.
I come running over like a dog that's just been called.
Yeah. Seeing everyone else retreating, I'm booking it as well.
All right. So you have 2 clones that are following along after nothing. They're trying to keep up anyway, the best they can, and 2 behind Guts who are trying to follow along, and then the 5 following behind Balls at the moment.
It's going well.
Oh my god. So
To the asshole room.
we gotta pick one room or the other. It's the asshole room or the whatever the hell's going on in there, some kind of ceremony or something. Are you frozen? Oh no, there. Oh, mine was. So the other room, besides the asshole room, was there. We could see firelight, and in the shadows of the firelight, we could see 4 like creepy-looking figures, and then 1 large figure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was there any noise? Did we hear
Yep,
anything?
this sounded like the baying of a cow, or the mooing of a cow.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, we gotta decide here quick. What are we doing? Because these
Asshole
things.
room.
Asshole room. Is that the general consensus?
We're
I'm
just
barking
gonna.
something for like I'm trying to convey some kind of message, but all you just hear is a bark.
That means asshole room. I'm certain I speak dog.
Does
Yeah,
it
I
sound
don't
like Scooby-Doo?
Does anybody have animal handling?
Yeah.
In fact, he can go in first. He's very excited about this.
Yeah.
These
Shaking his head. He's
things,
shaking his head like this, barking.
these clone
So-
things, if do they respond to any kind of command if I was to say stay?
Nope. You can say whatever to them. They don't really seem to, respond to anything. If they get close enough to you, they just kind of reach out like they want a hug.
I should have said stay because
Yeah, I stayed.
Hey, can
Stop moving.
I put the little larva thing that I have up to one of them?
Sure.
Does that do anything?
You can see that it wiggles and tries to get to them, to sink under their flesh, but otherwise, no.
Doesn't have any effect. Is it still chanting?
Yep, still says that same whispering phrase.
Okay. All right. Well. God damn it. Okay, so everybody's on board with the asshole room, huh?
Still
Always
barking,
be on board with the asshole.
barking and shaking my head.
All right. Well, I mean, at this point, it's pretty much just like, like I said, it's just fuck it at this point. I mean, what the hell's going on?
Can I get a wisdom save from Balls?
Yeah, sure. 14.
As you kind of listen to these guys and try to decide what to do, and you're deciphering Guts's barks and whimpers and growls, and kind of getting the thing, you feel this hand on your shoulder. When you turn around, you realize you've kind of cornered yourself in this corner a little bit as these things are swarming around you. And one of them kind of sets his hand on your shoulder and starts to embrace you in a hug. It's almost like it just becomes a part of you, and you have almost no control as you. Even though you try to push it away, you just find that you're hugging it back, and as everybody else looks upon you, this clone of you or whatever it is kind of melds into your skin and disappears. Take 1 corruption point,
Sweet.
and I need wisdom checks from the other 3, from Janik, Nothing, and Guts.
19.
You're good.
14.
You're good.
Wisdom 13.
You're going to take 1 insanity. As you see this thing kind of wrap around him, and when you look upon Balls now, you can see that one eye sags a little bit lower than the other, and one of his legs seem a little bit shorter or something. Maybe something's a little off about him.
Great.
Going well.
I think that's a hint to make a decision.
Yeah, I see that.
Please pick.
I saw that, and I just said, fuck it. I put my shield over my head, and I run down the hallway and just jump into the asshole.
All right.
Head first.
Give me a dexterity check first. Hold on. It's going to be verse 14.
Dexterity, you say. That is 23.
Beautiful. So as you run down, you can feel all these half-digested forms and stuff. Their limbs kind of reach out at you, trying to get a hold of you. You can feel a few of them get a hold of you, like your loincloth and the tattered clothing that you have on, ripping it apart. But, this momentum that you have just, pulls you right through. When you jump into this smelly orifice at the end of this hallway, you get halfway through before it kind of clamps down around you, around your waist. You can feel your back end in the back part of the room. In this room that you're looking forward into, though, let's see. Roll me a 1d8 and see what you got.
It's a 1.
All right. Beautiful. So as you kind of trapped around this, and you have your shield out in front of you, you look into this room. At the far side is another doorway. But this room that you're in, just reeks of blood and feces and death. Chained to the wall is this man, and you immediately recognize it as Guts, who's been chained to this wall. His hands are kind of chained up to the wall behind him. His feet dangle down. His whole abdomen and his chest and everything's been ripped out. His intestines spilled onto the ground. In front of him is this humanoid, about 12 feet tall, has very mottled sort of skin, huge bat-like wings come explode out from his back. He has 4 arms, each ending in 3 wicked-looking claws. He kind of turns towards you and regards you, and you can see this really sadistic grin on its face, and then it pulls forward and just continues to rip the guts out of Guts.
I'm freaked. I just wanna. I'm running after him. I don't know what's through there. I'm shoving him through the asshole.
All right, give me a dexterity check.
I'm next. That's
it's going to be worse of 17.
Yeah, that's an 8.
All right. As you kind of pass down, you feel one of these arms, half-digested bodies or whatever, kind of get a hold of you, and then another one. And as you only get halfway down into this thing before you can feel all these arms grappling you and like pulling you into the wall. Up above you, you can see all these little orifices and stuff start dripping down more and more acid before the whole thing is just like a shower and a wash of this green goo. You considered grappled at the moment. You can take 7 points of damage. And Nothing and Grutz, what would you two like to do? You can see half of Janik sticking out at the far end of this hallway, and you can see Balls has been dragged in by all of these half-digested beings as they're pulling him into the wall and holding him there to be digested.
I looked at Nothing, looking to see if he's going to make the first move. If he doesn't look like he's going to, I'll do something.
He kind of gives you a shrug.
Fair enough. Then, for lack of a better idea, I'll just follow suit and run on in there.
Alrighty. Give me
Everybody piles into the asshole room.
Give me a dexterity. It's going to be versus an 18.
I'm going to burn my inspiration if that's cool.
Yeah. Just take an auto.
For the love of God, please don't roll. What was it, 18? Even still, I don't beat it. Roll the 16.
We can take an auto success with inspiration.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. What do you do with Janik at the end of this?
Full on barreling into him and just using all of my speed and weight to just push him through the asshole and hopefully myself.
All right. Yeah, you can. As you kind of hit the back of him, you kind of shove him forward. You can hear this poppy sound as he's pressured through, and you kind of dive through behind him. You see the same thing that he did when you enter that room with a big demon, and you see your guts. So yeah, you see this visage of you chained to this wall, being torn apart by this demon. When it turns over and looks at you, you can see almost like this flash of confusion cross before its face for just a moment. And Nothing. What do you do?
Yeah, I'll look back at these clones that are
shambling down the steps towards you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can make out the word "Tata."
Well, certainly.
And upon hearing that, I freak out and I run towards this. Well, yes, I run towards the asshole.
Alrighty. Dexterity check. This is gonna be first 12.
Oh. Yeah, that's a failure.
Yeah. What do you got?
I got a 9.
As you kind of get about 3/4 of the way down this hall, you can also, feel one of these things get a hold of the back of your hair, and then another one kind of clamps on your shoulder, and before you realize it, you're being dragged right up against the wall with these things with the acid spilling down around you. You're going to take 8 points of damage. Both Nothing and Balls, if you guys want to make a strength check to try and break free from these things, you can, unless you have something else you want to do. I'll let you guys go first before I hit the room again.
Can I use Dex as a monk instead of Strength for this?
Yep. You could, or acrobatics. Athletics. One of those would work.
Yeah, I think I got a better acrobatics here.
All right. You got to
Yeah,
go
I got
against.
a.
I got a 12.
Where's my? There it is. I critically failed.
You get a 1.
I got a 1.
Roll me a 1 die 100.
67.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, great.
Yeah, you're not able to be pulled free. You can, as you feel this acid just continue to pour down around you. Take 7 more points of damage, and you can feel your skin almost like it's melting. And when you look down, you can literally see sheets of your skin just sloughing off onto the ground before you. You can feel your intestines quiver a bit, and you just, kind of lean forward and just begin vomiting and defecating yourself everywhere against this wall. Consider yourself poisoned at the moment. And nothing. As you kind of look across, it looks like this guy is just being completely melted by the acid.
So I rolled a 21 to break free.
Oh, I think.
Oh,
you got
good
that.
for you.
I got it. No, you got one. You got it. As you kind of pull yourself free, you can see when you yank forward, one of these limbs that was holding you just completely rips away from the wall and still hangs on to you, but you're just like running down this hallway with this limb still attached to you. What would you like to do?
I'm going to run towards my fallen companion and attempt to kind of grab him and bring him to his feet while he's still vomiting and shitting himself. It's great. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, he's gonna try and just pack him up and drag him along.
Alright.
The good news is I weigh less now.
Yeah. Always look on the bright side.
Take 4 hit points of damage from the acid that's coming down around you, and if you want to make a check to break free balls with advantage, go for it. I got a 12 this time.
With advantage, it's a 21.
Alright, you got it. So yeah, with him aiding you, he kind of pulls you forward, and you two are kind of rushed down this hallway. You're going to take another 9 points of damage, though, in acid as you get to the end of this hallway before it stops spraying. Yeah.
I'm down.
All right. What does nothing do when you see your companion? He kind of falls down. You see that he's fallen unconscious.
I just grab him, use all my strength just to force him through that orifice.
All right.
Just
Aren't there laws
style.
against that?
Well,
Yeah, there's no. I didn't hear any consent.
Yeah, dead people can't consent. That's the whole.
So as you guys kind of look over your shoulder, you can hear the slurping sound as what looks to be balls comes through, but his skin is all sloughed off with huge open wounds. He's vomiting up. And, I need.
You know what would really help him right now? Shoving him through an asshole. I think that'll make him right as rain.
Yep. Give me a 1 die 20 roll balls, and you'll see what happens to you.
Yeah.
A 2.
Okay. I'll hit you in just a minute, but you're going to gain 1 corruption and 1 die 4 insanity from the death. So I'll let you mark that down. And then, behind him, you can see nothing kind of pull himself through this asshole orifice into this room. And everybody roll initiative.
Oh, great. Here it goes, right into chat. Right. Oh, no, wait. Sorry, that's not. I have to add my modifier. There it is.
Initiative is the only thing I seem to be able to do well.
Let's see, Ball's got 7.
What was the only thing I crit? What was the useless crit I had? Oh, the damage.
Is 3.
So far, so good. This will be our last room now.
18, okay. 18. Guts got 19.
I just can't help but picture that scene in Ace Ventura.
And Janik got 20. Alright. So orders Janet, Guts, the demon creature, Balls, and nothing. But Balls will do you when you get to your turn. So Janet, you are up. You can see what's left of Balls' mutated form on the floor, just kind of quivering at the moment, and then just stop moving altogether. All of his skin sloughs off, then he's just left with bone almost, and it just kind of turns to ash, and within just mere seconds, it's just a pile of bone, ash, and little bits of flesh that are still left. But hovering right above that is an orangish-colored orb that twinkles. Just across the way, you see Guts has been hung by his wrists. He's hanging from the ceiling. He looks like he's dead as he's completely disemboweled, but he's also right beside you, staring at himself. You can see this huge four-armed demonic creature standing before you. It kind of turns towards you and growls something before starting to move towards you. What does Janik do?
So there's nowhere to hide, no cover, and there's no point in like.
There's chains hanging from the ceiling, and there's some torture instruments around, but there's no really cover. No.
How tall is this thing? It's like you said, it was like
about 12 foot.
12 foot tall, so climbing ain't gonna do enough.
On the far side of the room, past this creature, is another doorway. But beyond that, you can go back through the asshole.
Hey, you can always go back to the asshole.
We call that the back door.
Right. So you said there's like a glowing orb or something?
Yep, it's right above where Balls' body was. It just kind of decayed into a pile of ash, but there's a glowing, almost like his essence is just kind of hovering above him at the moment.
Oh, snap.
Please place in my asshole.
Well, I would be a little preoccupied with this giant thing coming at me. So, I am going to throw a bone at it.
All right, make your attack. I gotta find his stats for a second anyway.
It's gonna be that's 17 for 17 for 4.
4. All right.
I'm gonna give him a good old fuck you, buddy.
Yeah, so this bone kind of clicks this thing right in the shoulder. You can see that it actually opens up and it kind of bruises a little bit. It kind of looks at where you hit it and then kind of glares back at you, just continuing its ascent forward towards you. Seems to make very measured strides, very confident, and doesn't rush at you or anything, just menacingly moves towards you. Guts, I need a wisdom save from you before you go, as you look upon what seems to be yourself being tortured on this wall.
I got a 15.
All right, take 1 insanity,
Yeah.
and you are currently frightened by yourself, not the demon, but what yourself is, so you can't go near yourself.
Okay. So seeing this, Guts looks like he's torn between like horrible flashbacks of what's been done to him, and then a fierceness in his eyes, like he just has this utmost amount of rage towards this demon that is doing it to him. He looks like he steps forward to say something very insulting and poetic, and only the sound you hear is the bark of a dog. He looks rather frustrated by this. Looks to the ground and see if there's any like chains on the ground that he can grab.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of chains. And
Could I pick up a chain and then kind of use it as an improvised whip to drag this creature closer to me and then give it a couple uppercuts?
certainly.
What do you want for that? Just
Oh, why don't you make your regular attack with the whip to see if you can get a hold of this thing?
that's a crit again.
Okay.
Jesus.
Nice. So yeah, and you can drag it towards you definitely with a crit. So if you want to just make your 2 attacks as you beat into this thing, since you got a crit on that.
First one's a 19. Second one, since I'm going to do a flurry of blows for my last key point, is a 1.
Roll me a 1 die 100.
Yay. Oh no, 17.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and do your damage first?
Damage. The whip is not being damaged. It's just to get him closer to me.
Yep.
So then a total of 6 with just the one hit hitting.
Okay. Math. As you kind of growl and bark at this thing, your voice, starts to coming back, and you can finish off whatever the sentence it was that you were saying, but you can feel your skin kind of takes on this very tingly sensation. Those of you around him see all of his hair fall out. His body's just like this clean slate of nice pink flesh. His teeth fall out and kind of crumble to the floor. You can see one of his ears fall off, followed by the other one. His face, it's almost like a skin kind of encapsulates his face, so that he has like no facial features and just covers over his whole body.
So what Guts was trying to say is you hear the ending of now we're going to see what your guts look like, and then that happens to him, and looks pretty devastated.
Take 1 corruption point, Guts.
Yeah.
What's that put you at?
I believe that's my first one, but I have 2 insanity.
Okay, you're good so far. And Guts is up. So the demon, you can see this thing kind of tries to... Are you keeping him grappled with the whip, or did you let that go just to drag him in?
I might as well keep him grappled, keep his speed at 0 until he fights it.
Yeah, he's going to try and break free. I got a 21.
I got a 20, so he wins.
Okay. So
Well, fuck.
Kind of break free from these chains. He takes his 2 huge, massive arms that seem to top his shoulders. He's going to lash out at you, try to grab a hold of you. And I got a miss there. And does 14 hit? I'm not sure what your AC is.
16 is my AC.
So yeah, these 2 arms just kind of slash out at you, trying to get a hold of you as you kind of dodge in between. Balls, I need... Let me look. I think it's a 1 die 100.
Maybe a 38.
Okay. And right there. 21, 38. I need a dex save from Nothing and from Jarek and from Guts at the moment, and the demon actually.
Non-natural 20.
Yep, that's what I got. So you're good there.
What?
But,
Oh no.
Believe it or not, I somehow got a natural 20 again, too. This is ridiculous.
Nice.
I got a 6.
All right. So you can see this orb that's hovering above where Balls' body was, and the whole thing just explodes, centering shards of glass and stuff everywhere. It kind of scrapes some of your skins and stuff. It seems like... Let me go back to my hangouts. Who failed that, was it? Yeah. Yep.
Janik.
So Janik, as you kind of turn, you get the full frontal of this explosion as this orb gets kind of explodes around you. When you look down, you're just covered in shards of glass. You're going to take 1 die 12 damage. 2.
Damn.
So take 2 points of damage.
2?
And then, yep, just 2. And then you can see this, they pull free all these little bits of glass and stuff, and it starts to hover around where Balls' body was, and slowly you can see his body start to reform itself. It looks a little bit off, though, and everything seems kind of weird about it. You're going to take 1 more corruption, Balls. And next turn you will be awake to do something. So Nothing, you are up.
Straight away I'm going to use my second wind.
Okay.
And just attempt to heal myself a little bit. 8 on the die. So 8 plus 3 is 11. So, okay. Sorry, I'm just going to write that down in case I forget. But as this thing explodes, he kind of ducks and rolls along, bringing his short sword to bear at this big hulking creature and attempts to stab it.
Alrighty. Armor class is only 14, so...
14. Well, considering I rolled a 19 last time, I'll probably not get higher than a 2. I wasn't far away. Yeah, I missed it by 1.
Okay. When your sword hits this thing, it just seems like it hits this hard steel carapace or something, like you're hitting armor. It just kind of chinks off of it. And, Janik, you are back up.
Well, this is real interesting. So
As you're kind of looking upon this, you hear this slurpy sort of sound. When you look over, you see one of these deformed clone mutants kind of pull itself through the asshole into this room, and another one's starting to pull itself through as well.
Fuck.
what the fuck, man? That's in character. Oh, what the shit? Can I like somehow get around this demon guy? I just want to like try to get. You said there was a exit on the other side of the room.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to get there. I want to get out.
Okay. You'll evoke a attack of opportunity since you're passing by him in that case.
I'll be passing that close.
Yep.
Yeah, go for it. Because I'm at
Unless
this
you
point,
use a dodge or a disengage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could use disengage and then move. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not planning on fighting at all, so I'm just
Okay.
turning tail and running. Feet don't fail me now.
Definitely do that. So you can see Janet kind of dodge around this creature and kind of get just enough out of its reach before he hauls ass across this room towards the door on the far side. Which, let me look and I'll see what it looks like. So when you get a little bit closer to the door, you can see it's a heavy wooden door. It has iron bandings across it, and it has a huge padlock against what looks to be some sort of like clasping lock. The whole thing is covered in what looks to be almost like lipstick kisses, but you can see that it's actually blood.
So it's locked, I take it.
Yep, with a heavy padlock. Looks like if you beat it enough, it'd probably break free.
So do I have, so I still have an action left, right?
Disengage would be your action, and then you took your move action. I mean, if you wanted to start doing something, you can, like, for flavor purposes, yeah.
Another for flavor. I'm hoping to use that little pick thing that I have. I wonder if we can use that as improvised tools.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to try and open that lock.
All right. Guts, you're still feared by your own visage, but what would you like to do? You can see and hear everything, you just can't speak, and you look like just a flesh.
Look like Sloth from the Goonies.
Yes.
Like Toxic Avenger.
I go to pull out my once glorious beard and now feel my disgusting smooth face. Devastated by this, I will go into a flurry of strikes, but only 2 since I don't have any key points left.
Okay.
First one is a 16 and a 9.
16 hits.
4 more damage as I do another uppercut into this beast in front of me.
Want to move or anything, or stay where you're
Can I position myself not out of his range, but away from the clones, the dog clones of me?
Oh, yep.
I don't want
As
no
they-
hugs.
As they pull through the asshole into this room. Yep. Yeah, as you kind of move around this thing, you can see that, 2 of them has pulled themselves in, and a third looks like it's partly pulling itself through. The demon kind of just swirls around, just completely lashes out at you with all 4 of these massive clawed arms.
Mm-hmm.
You can see when it does this, though, its whole body seems to shrink a little bit, like it's using a part of itself just to, take after you. Damn, I'm rolling that. 3, 5, 17.
That does hit.
And maybe a 21, so that one hits. Alright, first damage is going to be 8. Second one is 8.
16 total. Ouch.
Alright, and I need another wisdom save from you. You can see when it gets a hold of you, it digs its one claws into your shoulder a little bit, the other one it takes and swipes directly across your abdomen. You can feel your intestines start to spill out already as its claws steer through your gut.
You hear him say, "Oh no, not again." And 6 wisdom.
Alright.
Not like this.
Yeah, you can feel this overwhelming sense of fear and dread just come across you as this thing starts to disembowel you. You get that flashback of, this thing just disemboweling you over and over again. And you can feel that fear starting to come up and start to well up inside you. You're currently afeared of this demon creature, so you're going to try to get away from it or something on your turn. You've got to get as far away as possible.
Sounds perfect.
Balls, you're going to have a vision. So roll me a 1 die 10.
1 die 10. That's going to be a 7.
7. All right. So as you can feel your soul almost like it's trapped, like you're not able to pass on to this world that you feel like you should be at, or whatever the case may be. And you kind of wake up. You can see Guts being disemboweled in the corner, both of them. And you can see Janik running across this room, and nothing as he tries to fight this creature and these mutants around you. But everything kind of blacks out for just a moment. And you see yourself sitting alone on a raft as it drifts down this lazy flowing river. Off to the side on the beaches, on either side of you can see all these little goblins crawling across the ground with real primitive-looking weapons. Occasionally, one of them seems to get the balls enough to kind of reach forward and either fire a bow or a spear at you, but it never quite reaches. It always falls just short. The day as you're kind of going down this river, the day quickly becomes dusk before you even realize it, and then all of a sudden it's nighttime. The scenery around you all seems to melt away, and you can see the trees look like as if they're made of bones. And tiny little fairy bodies hang from them, almost like fruit hanging from these trees. A heavy rain begins to pelt you, and when you look down, you can see that it's actually blood that's covering your body, and it's raining down upon you. Up in the distance, you can see what looks to be some sort of volcanic mountain that's kind of spewing this reddish green sort of lava up, and you can see the whole area is covered in smoke. And this huge roar echoes, and then a mocking laughter that says, "Well, well, what pathetic mortal has condemned themselves this time?" And as you kind of open your eyes, you're looking into this room with what's going on. So what would you like to do?
I thought this was even a vision. Whoa. So I'm confused. So I see this. So I see a volcano, and behind me there's fairies with blood and gore.
Yep.
Do I have any sense of like distance that's been passed?
Nope, none at all. And I mean, that whole vision kind of fades away, and when you finally open your eyes, you're back in this room again.
Oh, I see.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
yeah.
I thought it was understood. Yeah, no, I want to assist with with getting out of this room, because I'm not necessarily sure I'm comfortable facing any more enemies. So I'm gonna try to book it towards that lock, see if I can't assist with the getting through that door.
Okay. Yeah, when you get up there, you can see that Janik's already starting to get to work on the lock and trying to figure out how to open this thing. This demon kind of swipes at you as you pass by, but you're far enough out of reach for it not to bother with anything. Nothing as you kind of look up, you can see this demon in front of you, but right behind you, you can see two more of these clone creatures kind of pull themselves through the asshole. And you realize that 3 of them are already starting to surround you, reaching out towards you. I need a dex save before you take your action.
Oh, jeez. 11.
And I got an 18. One of them kind of just embraces you in this hug, and you can see it looks like one of the bestial clones of Guts. But as it's kind of staring at you, it sloughs that appearance and starts to take one of your own. But it looks very young, almost like maybe what you would look like as a child, or maybe what your child looks like or something. And you can hear this, it's kind of murmuring "daddy" to you when it kind of absorbs into you. You can feel this thing just, embrace you and hug you, and you have a very sense of a warm, comfortable sort of feeling for just a moment before you're staring back at this monstrous demon in front of you. Why don't you go ahead and take your action?
Jarred for a moment. He kind of shakes his head, looks at this. I'm guessing the back of this beast at the moment as it's busy swiping at everyone else. He's going to attempt to bring his short sword around to hamstring this, well, for lack of a better word, this fucker. Okay, that's an 18.
That's a hit.
And I'm going to throw a superiority die on that. So, a strength save, DC 13.
And I got a 4.
Okay, so he's as prone at the moment.
Okay.
Um, Sorry, I'll roll my damage if I can remember the dice. Damage is 7, 11, 14.
Nice. Yeah, you're able to dig your sword right across the back of this thing's hamstrings. You can see it drop down to its knees, and its head kind of spins around to growl at you as it tries to pull itself around in your direction. Janik, you are up. If you guys want to work on the lock, I'll give you advantage since you're getting assisted by balls.
Oh, hell yeah. Alright. So this is going to be... best one's going to be 18.
Nice, yeah. So as you kind of fiddle with this thing, and Balls is helping out, he's kind of showing you what to do, and as you prod this thing, he gives it a hard yank, and you can see this clasp open up. You can quickly try to pull this thing off.
Great. Let's start another encounter, guys.
I'm sorry, I needed a wisdom save too from nothing to see if you get any insanity from that thing.
Yeah, I was just thinking that there myself. Oh, that's 17 on the die, so 19.
So nope, no insanity. But you kind of feel something kind of quivering on your abdomen, your side of your stomach or something. Seems like there's something there. And Guts, you are up. You are currently afraid of yourself and this demon creature in front of you.
I'm muted. That's what's going on. So I'm frightened, correct?
Yes.
So that means I have disadvantage on ability checks, attack rolls, and I can't move closer to it. Now, do I have to move away?
You don't have to move away, you just can't move closer.
And if I remember correctly, nothing just knocked it prone?
Yes.
Could I, with disadvantage, try to jump on top of it and restrain it?
Not with frightened you can't, no, because you can't move any closer to it.
Okay. So then... and am I still grappled by it?
No.
Okay. I will ready a dodged action and I guess walk away. Or run away, since I'm afraid.
Alright. Yeah, as you back away from this thing and kind of ready yourself, you can feel your back up against the stone wall behind you. Over to your left, as you look over, you see your own form just hanging there, disemboweled. It does turn towards you, and it looks at you. And it looks like it's saying something, but you can see his throat's been ripped out, and there's no voice left in him. As your copy of yourself, or whatever this is, speaks to you. The whole thing just kind of falls forward, then dead.
Pleasant. That door's looking pretty good right now. I'm gonna go check on them and see how well they're making out with it.
Let's see. Prone gives me disadvantage on attacks, right? I don't have my book right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disadvantage on your attacks and advantage on
Yeah.
everyone else's.
Okay. He's just going to make his 2 disadvantage attacks on nothing since he's the closest one right behind him. So, first one is, lowest is an 8, so that's missing. The second one, 14.
A 14 will hit if I'm unarmored, but I can use a reaction to negate any, well, not negate, but reduce the damage.
Okay. So
Sorry.
So you're going to negate that then?
I'm not going to negate it, sorry, it's superiority die plus dex mod.
Okay.
Less than what you roll.
It's going to be 8. 2, 4, so total of 6 damage you would take.
Which is great because I rolled a 1 on the die. Demon
stands up. So it's going to remain prone. He ain't going to use his action to stand up since he attacked you. So Balls, you are up. You're helping unload this lock. So yeah, you guys are able to kind of pull this lock free and open up this clasp. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm gonna take a look at what's on the other side.
All right.
Although I would out of character note, it's about that time for me.
Yep, this is the ending anyway. So as you kind of grab that door and swing it open, you can look across this huge, expansive bridge that kind of goes off into the distance, out to the outside world around you. Nothing. You are up if you want to make your attack.
Certainly. Non-natural 20.
Unnatural 20.
Non-natural, sorry.
Okay. And go ahead and do damage. It only has 8 hit points left, so.
Okay, I should be able to do it. Nope, 6.
6-2.
I'll throw a superiority die on that.
All right. You'll take him out. So yeah, you can. What do you do to this creature to kill it? I'll let you describe it.
Almost like a leap through the air. He kind of runs along the hamstrung leg, jumps into the air, and just brings the short sword down in between the shoulder blades, and gives it a little twist.
It kind of makes this slurpy sort of sound as you twist it and pull the blade free. The whole thing just kind of collapses forward, and you can see his whole form. Again, the skin just kind of melts away, and then his bones crumble to dust, and this really dark crimson kind of orb appears above the body of this demon. It hovers there for a few moments before just zipping off through the distance. It passes right through the wall and disappears. As you kind of make your way over to where Balls and Janik look out across this expansive bridge or whatever. Guts, what do you do?
I am repeatedly saying "fuck the asshole room," and I'm gonna head right out that door.
Alright. So, as you open the door, it swings kind of outward, and the smell of sulfur washes across your senses. And you can hear the screams of souls burning alive. It draws your attention downward. There's a great iron and stone bridge that leads from where you're at, this doorway, to the far side of a ravine. Down below you can see this huge moat of flame. Hundreds of gargoyle-like demons kind of poke and prod, dragging bodies into this raging inferno of a river. Every scream seems to course through you, chilling you to the bone, filling you with despair. Across the way on the other side of this bridge, you can see what looks to be a pair of castles perched on the hillside. Massive smokestacks come off from either side of these castles, belching pollution and smog into the wasteland before you. Here on this bridge near the crest of here upon this bridge, you can see off in the distance a big rocky mountain ridge, the same one you've seen above in the room, or in the room before, Jarek. You take your first look across this forsaken realm of Gehenna. Jagged mountains rest along the western horizon, climbing up from barren plains like massive kraken teeth. Overhead, you can see a red, glaring sun of flame beating down. The heat so intense you can feel you feel your skin already burning and starting to crispify. For the first time, you feel the fringes of thirst tickle your lips. Twisted trees scabbed together like sinister forests are scattered around like fecal droppings across the land, and huge, bulbous tumor-like mountains adorn the northern view. The terrain resembles what might have once been on the mortal realms, but it bleeds with broken and malicious feeling that just nauseates you. The whole place is an anathema to the living and the dead. It is a place that should not be, cannot be, yet is. A place of unspeakable torments, unfathomed horrors, brought upon by the most unstable and insanity-racked minds feasible. As if realizing the sickness in your stomach, the ground rumbles and shakes, and then this huge mucus-like orifice opens up on the far side of the cavern, overlooking this molten lava pit, and it spews forth this vomit of just raining chunks of flesh, bone, and sinew, and strange fluids all across this mountainous bridge that's in front of you. And then you can hear like this booming voice in the distance, and it says, "Welcome to hell, forsaken ones. Welcome to hell." That is the end of the session for tonight.
Nice.
I need real quick insanity checks from all of you, so wisdom saves from everybody. It's going to be versus DC of 15.
17.
Passed.
You're good.
19.
Good. So everybody passed. Jeez.
I didn't roll yet. 13.
And against a 15, so yeah, you failed. Let's see what you got.
Ooh, let's see.
Congrats.
Thanks, buddy.
It's going to be 1d4 insanity.
Good.
And behind you, you can see more of these, what's left of these clones, pulling themselves free and kind of moaning towards you, their hands outstretched. I just need everybody's in current insanity and corruption.
Janik has 0 corruption and 3 insanity.
So 0 corruption and 3 insanity. Janik.
Balls has 2 corruption, 5 sanity.
Oof.
2
Damn.
corruption, 5 insanity. Okay.
Well, I have 16 wisdom, so.
Yeah, mine's only 10.
Let's see. Nothing. What do you have so far?
I have nothing written down. I didn't see corruption for the melding.
Yep.
Yeah, that's that one. Yeah, so I've got nothing on both.
Okay. Yeah, nothing. And guts.
2 insanity, 1 corruption.
1 corruption, 2 insanity. Okay, that's all of them. And for the next session, you guys are going to level up to level 5.
Nice.
Level 5? Shit.
Level 5.
Alright.
Sweet.
And that's all I need to get ready for the next one. So I am all set.
All right. Thanks for the
Cool,
game,
man.
Morgan.
You're welcome.
Great job,
Please tell me
everybody.
as the critical venom
Terrific work.
starts to play.
We've all got a lot to be proud of.
Work in the morning.
Yeah, we've all got to jump into our own assholes.
What a plan.
Yep.
Couldn't have said it better.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be doing the next one in 2 weeks, and that'll be session 2.
Can't wait.
During the next 2 weeks, come up with like one more vision for me to use for your characters. You can make it anything you want, and that would be the next vision that you get. But I'll let you guys write the next one for yourselves.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
Alright. I got the other one saved. Hey, nice playing with you guys.
All right,
I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thanks.
See you in a
Thanks for the
couple
game, everyone.
weeks.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Adios.
Cheers, folks.
See ya.
Yep. Catch you guys later.